welcome back to another episode of the Watchlist. We're now on episode 7. I'm Jacob. I'm hosting today. Alongside me is Jagger, Jordan, Chase, and Christian. Just a quick recap of last episode before we get into today's business. We went over some adapted screenplays, and did some fan casts as well. You can go check that episode out. Also check out all our other episodes. While you're at it, might as well follow us on TikTok and all that. You can keep up with everything we're doing. But in terms of today, we're going to get started with some revenge movies. That's our theme today. We watched Kill Bill Volume 1, I Saw the Devil, and The Fugitive. So we'll go over each of those, break those down, and give our thoughts. We have a game coming up after that, which I've been keeping a surprise for these guys, but we'll reveal that a little bit later on in the show. And then we'll close out with picking our movies for next week and revealing our theme for next week. But before we get to any of that, I'll toss it over to you guys and just catch up on what we've been doing this past week, and I'll start with Christian.
Yeah, so this past week was absolutely brutal with work. I probably worked north of 55 hours and it was just a lot. Very stressful mentally and physically. And I actually think I got sick from being overworked a little bit,
Jesus.
which kind of sucked. But it's temporary. It's only a couple of weeks. Just got to get through it. Just a tough time for the business. Um, Outside of that, if you can't see, I'm wearing my Severance shirt. Irving B here. I got matching shirts with my girlfriend that will be rocking for the season finale this week. Uh, the Severance episode was good. Really enjoyed it. Good bounce back episode. But outside of the three movies that we had for this week, I didn't watch anything else. So I'll hand it off to the next guy.
Yeah, I'll go to Jagger next. Jagger, I know you were not home this week, and now you're back at school, so let's give
Yeah,
us a rundown.
it was a nice, relaxing week in South Carolina, but now I'm back, sadly. Now back to the CPA grind, which sucks. I didn't think I watched a lot this week, and then I looked and wrote everything down. Like maybe I did. I watched a lot of shows. I watched White Lotus, Righteous Gemstones, season 4, episode 1 came out. Severance again, and then possibly the best Invincible episode ever, which we're gonna have a little exclusive episode on that later. And then I watched Kurosawa's Dreams, Kill Bill Volume 2. I watched The Royal Tenenbaums on the flight. And on the drive back to school, I got a little gadget where I could put my phone up top. So when I'm just cruising, because I got the Tesla cruise control, I just toss on Fargo and just watch that.
That
So
was a
Amazing.
safety hazard.
Yeah,
yeah,
do you just let the car drive while you watch the movie in the Tesla?
basically.
Nice.
Christian, Christian, I meant to ask you, when are you running your marathon again? Did you do that yet, or when's that?
So my half marathon is in late April, but right now I have a banged up knee, so I took it easy this week. Didn't run. But I do want to shout out our friend Chris, who just completed his first half marathon. So
Yeah,
I
all
see
right.
that.
All
Congrats,
right.
Chris.
that's great.
Congrats, Chris.
Congrats, Chris.
All
God.
right, Chase, I'll go to you next.
What's going on? I also just got back from a little vacay. Back to reality, as Jagger said. I have work today. Gotta leave within the next 3 hours, which I'm not excited for. Gotta work tomorrow as well, so it's definitely hitting the ground running, fresh off of vacay. But let's see what I watched this week. On the flight there, I watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I didn't know what to watch on the flight, and I saw it on there, and I was like, I'm never gonna watch this on my own. And I know a lot of people have great things to say, including you, Jagger and Jacob. So, um, I watched it. One of the best final shots I've ever seen in all in all of movies. I loved it. Um, Outside of watching that, I didn't get to. I just barely limped to the finish line on our three movies this week, about a half hour ago. So. But I've been watching The Last of Us with my girlfriend. We're at episode 6, I think. So she's gonna get caught up before season 2. Watched the Severance episode, really enjoyed it. And I think that's everything for me. So yeah. Oh, and Invincible. I'm about to finish season 1 of Invincible. I'm on the season finale, which I'll watch on the train ride to work, which I'm really excited for.
Oh
That was
God.
Incredible.
Oh God.
I mean, I mean, I won't give spoilers in case anyone listening hasn't seen Invincible, but the last episode I just watched, like the one before the season finale, was fucking awesome. So
Yeah, strap
I'm
in.
excited to see what happens in the next one, in the finale.
Do they have the
Yeah.
seatbelts on that train?
No.
You might have to buckle in.
Better figure that out.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Is it a train atmosphere? Should I wait until I get home?
Wait till you get home.
You
Oh,
think?
I think so. I think
think
like,
about the train on like Schnur and Jordan and Christian.
Oh
I know
my
what you're talking I know exactly what
God.
you're talking about.
don't watch on
All right.
train.
I would
Yeah,
just make
don't watch it on the train.
you watch it on the train. Just make sure you can finish the episode in one train ride. You don't want to split it up.
That's true.
I can finish it in one ride, but maybe I'll save it for the big screen when I get home tonight. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll start a movie
do
or
that.
something.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
think
gonna want
I,
to watch that there.
I
Totally.
think I
don't-
agree.
I don't mean to hype it up too much, but like Jagger said, this new episode, this recent season finale was maybe the best in the whole show. Like I still think I would give season 1 finale the edge, and they're both
They're
elite.
right there.
I think I'm with
Yeah.
Schnur.
both elite.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan, send to you next.
What the fuck did I do this week? I'm going to Florida tomorrow, for a week for vacation off of work. So I was just wrapping up everything before I left. Not too busy, normal week. I actually finished all 3 of the movies we had to watch before the weekend, so I was very proud of myself. And what else did I watch? The White Lotus, finished Invincible. Oh, Severance, obviously. And then one of our movies was Kill Bill Volume 1. Had to watch Volume 2 after that, which they were both very good. So that's what I watched. I don't think I watched anything else this week. I can't remember. But yeah, that's all I got going on.
I also, sorry, Schnur, and I want to cut you off, but I do want to give a shout out to Christian because yesterday I got home from vacay.
Oh, yeah.
If you know me, I'm a big Lego guy, so Christian surprised me with a $250 Lego set that I've been wanting. So shout out, Christian,
You know,
for literally no reason at all.
all the brothers have to eat here. I'm actually gonna buy Schnur the premium on on Letterboxd. So
When do
Schnur's
I
been
get
wanting
my
the,
gifts?
Schnur's been wanting the Lord of the Rings.
I got you next Battle Pass, and then Jagger.
Big.
Jagger,
Just buy Jagger like a 6-pack or something.
I already have your.
Yeah, Christian sent me that picture of the set, like when he was looking at it, and he was like, "Do I get this for Chase?" And I was like, "Holy shit! Like 230 is crazy, but like if you want to do it, go for it."
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
It was completely unnecessary. I wanted. I was trying to give it back to him, but he wouldn't accept it. So
Just take it as your birthday present, early birthday present.
Little early birthday present. That's all.
Are you guys gonna build it together?
Oh, that'd be so cute.
Maybe some pieces.
You guys
Maybe
hold
we'll-
each other's hands and use the
Vlog
other
it.
hand to.
maybe we'll record some content for it.
Christian puts on 3 pieces.
All right. In terms of me this week, not much. I have my Wi-Fi back, so luckily should be good for this episode. Back in my room now in a new location. I signed my offer letter this week, so I think I can officially announce
Let's
that
go.
I have an internship for the summer.
Oh,
Round of
with
applause.
the baseball team. So that's exciting. Appreciate it. So excited for that. Yeah, not much else in terms of what I watched. Very exciting. I watched the Dollars trilogy finally this week. Like Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, which was The Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Fucking incredible. Lived up to the hype for sure, especially Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
They didn't want
Why
to put
did-
dollars in the
why-
last one.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
What'd you
How are you
say?
just gonna abandon that?
They went
Abandon the
dollars, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, no, they're also not. So like I watched them in order just because it was a trilogy, but they're not at all like connected really. Like
Oh,
there's some
Right.
things that are like similar, like they're all led by Clint Eastwood, and there's some like similar actors that come in. But they're all completely different stories, different characters, which I didn't know going in, which kind of threw me off. But so good. I highly recommend.
So
Um,
Clint Eastwood's character in the first one isn't his character in the second one, or even the third one.
No, but he like looks
The
the same.
fuck?
Like he has like the same.
So there's standalone movies. They lied.
Yeah,
They
like you can watch
lied.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. You can just watch Good, the Bad, and the Ugly if you want.
they should have named it the good, the bad,
That's
and
like
the
the biggest
dollars.
one. What'd you say?
They should have named it the good, the bad, and the dollars.
Yeah.
They don't like
So
that.
yeah,
No
you can
worries.
watch.
Saying.
You don't have to
Liked
watch them in
it.
order, but highly recommend. I also watched. It's only the I rewatched Pulp Fiction just because we did Kill Bill, and then I've been wanting to watch that again. It's awesome. And then I watched Death Proof, which is one of the only two Tarantino movies that I hadn't seen before. Didn't really like it too much, honestly. Definitely my least favorite of his so far. So all I have left is like Jackie Brown and his filmography. So hoping
Don't
to see
even
that
watch
soon.
Jackie Brown.
What'd you
I
say?
didn't like it. I did
You didn't
not like
like it?
Jackie Brown.
It's sad.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear people like it, but like I watched it, I was like, this does not feel like one of his best. Like I think I have it ranked as my worst on his list, but I haven't seen Death Proof yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. I just know like De Niro's in it, and that's like a cool mashup. Like
Mm.
they're together. I think and Tarantino himself like loves that Jackie Brown, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it. I know it's not really considered one of his best, but yeah, Death Proof definitely my least favorite. And yeah, that's about it in terms of what I watched. Invincible, Severance, White Lotus. Shout out Walton Goggins, by the way, who's dominating two of the best shows on television right now. Is
He's
Cecil and
insane.
Invincible, and he's in the White Lotus also.
He's about to be he's in the Righteous Gemstones too, and that is gonna get it's like getting released right now too. So
Yeah,
he's
I don't
about to
watch
just
that. You
be
didn't?
everywhere.
I don't know you watched that. I
what
haven't seen it.
character is
I
that actor?
binged it.
In White
Cecil.
Lotus,
Yeah, and
he's
Invincible, I
like
guess.
Oh,
he's like the guy who's dating the British girl with the teeth.
Oh, the dude from
it's Fallout
yes, Fallout.
Yeah, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I like him.
dominates TV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
awesome.
does.
I'm a big fan of him. He's in a lot of Tarantino also, but
Did you guys
all right,
watch Fallout?
we'll what is it?
I watched half of it and it was really good, and then I just kind of stopped.
Yeah, I watched until the season finale, and then my friends watched the last episode without me, and I never went back. So
No worries.
I haven't seen it.
I also quickly before we head over to news, I started Andor again today. I
Oh,
restarted Andor.
I knew there was something.
Thanks to
I
Christian.
had some downtime yesterday and I was watching like these crazy YouTube videos of like people like going into North Korea or like some dude training with like the craziest like army general people in like Poland. They were cool, but I was like, I feel like there's something I wanted to watch and it was Andor and I completely forgot.
Going off of YouTube
When does season 2 come out,
videos,
Christian?
April 14th,
Yeah, it's coming
somewhere
up.
around
Sounds
there. It
right.
comes like as soon as Daredevil ends on that day, it gets released.
Think I'm
Which
gonna
I think I'm done with Daredevil already. I'm on episode 3.
think I'm gonna
Yikes.
try to squeeze in a rewatch
You should.
Yeah,
just to
But
refresh myself.
on YouTube videos, I was trying to fall asleep the other night, and then I stumbled upon like I spent my fortune on a farm, and like here's my first year.
Oh, I fucking love those videos, dude. The Outdoor
I
Boys
got
too. Do you know the Outdoor
yeah,
Boys? The
yeah. I've
best.
seen him. He's on TikTok all the time. That guy could do anything.
Dude, he's the GOAT.
yeah.
You
All
guys need
right.
to check out the Outdoor Boys.
Just me and you, Jordan. That's it.
So good.
All right. Without further ado, we'll kick it over to Jagger once again, and he can give us some news updates for the week.
Yeah, I felt like my phone was on Do Not Disturb for a lot of the week, so if I'm missing anything blaring, let me know. But first major news I saw was Sadie Sink was cast in Spider-Man 4.
Oh
The
God.
theory is that she's gonna be Jean Grey for the new X-Men.
Hmm.
Interesting. I also saw she could be Gwen Stacy or she could be MJ, which I don't know
That's
how
what
to do like a multiversal MJ thing
multiversal
that she's
MJ.
in.
Yeah.
Well,
But I mean, I don't know if I want her as Jean Grey. I just don't picture her as that. I don't know.
She's a
she
good
could.
actress.
I think she
Yeah.
should be good. I like her.
Yeah.
And
I
Zendaya
just need
was
to see
like,
it.
so Zendaya was MJ, but she was like Michelle Jones. Like you could have a Mary
Mary
Jane
Jane Watson.
also. Yeah,
Oh, would she look young? Isn't she like a lot
that's
younger?
what I
She's
think
she's
too.
our age. I think she's 22 or
She would
23.
look. I think she looks younger than Zendaya.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, how
Zendaya's
old is
like
Tom Holland?
26, 27.
She
Tom
plays.
Holland's around like
Yeah.
30.
I mean, this was a couple years ago, but she plays what, like a 14-year-old in Stranger Things.
Mhm.
So I
Something
think
like
she can
that.
pull it
Yeah.
off.
Wasn't she in a really strange music video too? Where
All
she
too well.
All too
10-minute
well,
version.
10-minute version. Come on, dude.
Let's
Which
Dylan
is
invite
like
O'Brien.
I don't know how I liked her in that because like she looks so much younger than Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she just looks a little too young, but I don't know.
Um,
Next we got F1 movie trailer with Brad Pitt,
I'm
and it
hyped
comes
for
out this
this.
June. It looks fire. Like I was like, oh, this is like heavy Top Gun vibes. And it's literally, I think it's produced by the same person who did Top Gun, or I don't know what
Same
it was,
director.
but
Yeah.
director, yeah. I mean, I think that's gonna be awesome. Another summer blockbuster. We got some Odyssey castings, which was huge for this week, and I think the main competition between Poseidon and was John Bernthal and Robert Pattinson. And John Bernthal, I saw him like in his costume. It doesn't look like Poseidon, so it's looking like Bobby Pat's about to be Poseidon, which is I think that's sick.
I'm fine with either.
But we got a bunch of other castings. I'm not going to go through them all. We saw that Adrian Brody wants to be in Dune. Sure.
Put him in.
Yeah, sure. Put him in. I don't know. I don't. We know nothing about Messiah, like the five of us. So
Look at Christian winding up some Dune roast that he's about to throw out.
Yeah, here we
No,
go.
no. I was gonna say that Adrian Brody is now one of my favorite actors, so I would love to see him in that. So
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it'd be cool just to see another big actor, but I know nothing, so I don't know what he could be cast as.
Christian, you don't like the first Doom, but you like the second one?
yeah,
Yeah.
I do want to
That's
rewatch them to
most.
give it another
Yeah.
shot. To be fair to everybody, so
Adrian should have said this earlier, and he should have just been the Emperor instead of Christopher Walken.
That would have been
I
sick.
like walking.
I do like walking. But yeah.
I hate Walken. In
I
it. He's so
didn't.
bad.
Yeah.
He's
I
so
didn't I
bad.
didn't like him at first, but like the more that I've watched it, I'm just like it doesn't like bother me.
I
Like, I
mean,
think he looks
He's
cool.
realistically,
Muad'Dib.
what does he have? 5 minutes of screen time?
Yeah.
Around that, but like I think the Emperor's supposed to be. I mean, he's kind of supposed to be like a pushover, I guess, because he just doesn't really do much. But I wanted like a force, and I think Brody could have done a better job. But whatever.
Baron.
Finally, Baron. Finally, Mickey 17 will be available for digital on March 25th, 18 days after theatrical release.
Jesus.
So massively failed on box. I think it's supposed to lose like $100 million. Um, but
Wow.
that is not a good sign for movie theaters right there, that they're like a massive thing like that.
They
It's being let
flopped.
down.
Sad.
Yeah.
I feel like everything
Wow.
flops.
movie theaters are in trouble.
Well, after that, I mean, that's pretty big. You have like Bong, who's coming off of like Best Picture and all that with Parasite, and you have Bobby Pat, who's coming off of Batman, coming up in the Odyssey. Like he's got a ton of stuff, and like he's a well-known actor, and that's flopping. It's kind of upsetting.
Yeah,
Yeah. It definitely bothers me. I don't know about you guys, but how like people say, like people just go and see like all these sequels that come out. And they're like, oh, it's just all these like sequels and they suck and this and that. But like, then go see the good original movies that are coming out. Like Mickey 17 is good. No one saw Nora. Like, there's a lot of great movies that come out. People just don't go to see them and then complain about.
No one listened to Sean Baker. No one listened
Yeah,
to his
yeah,
speech about
nobody.
getting out to the movies.
yeah, it's crazy.
Do we think that there's been a more hyped up movie than The Odyssey? Like this is crazy.
Oppenheimer was crazy.
I don't know.
Oppenheimer is insane, but I think
I
this
feel
is
like
gonna surpass, I guess,
I don't think it's there
the
yet,
hype of
though.
that.
It might get
It's,
there,
I
but
think
I don't
it's
think it's
going
there
to.
yet.
Once
I
we
think
get the first
yeah.
we didn't get it until the first teaser trailer of like the clock going down and like the countdown. That's when like everything started like ramping up. Like holy shit! Like 1 year away, we're so hyped. It also benefited from Barbenheimer
That
because everyone
Sure.
like
the only thing I could really think of is like an Avengers Endgame, really like leading up to the
Infinity
hype of a
War.
movie. It's gonna be like that level. It's gonna be really exciting.
I feel like the
I
Odyssey could also has like a lot of potential to pop at the movie theaters just because, like, yeah, Oppenheimer is, more of like an American story, I guess. But like the Odyssey's, like what kind of mythology is that? Greek or I don't
Greek.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like kind of a well-known story across the world, not just
Yep.
like America or North America.
I said to Chase recently, I think that the expectation for the Odyssey honestly should be like movie of the decade. Like it's one of the most famous, like biggest stories of all time. It's like the blockbuster director of our generation with like this crazy loaded cast. Like this should be a movie that we look back on and like the 2020s were defined by the Odyssey, I think. Like especially
Whoa.
with all
it's
like the new
gonna
IMAX
happen.
technology that he's using too. Like
Yeah.
this should be crazy. All right.
Because what
Um
Oppenheimer make like 700 mil, something like that.
think it was like
I
just
think this
below a billion. I thought it was like 900, honestly.
maybe. I
Literally couldn't
think
tell you.
this passes though, without a doubt.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should.
This
That's
will
what I'm
be a
saying.
billion. This will be a billion-dollar movie for sure.
Is that all for news?
That's all.
All right.
We got some news on The Accountant 2. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone, everyone's hating on me for The Accountant 2, but I can't wait. I don't think it's gonna be good, but it's classic.
I mean, I'll
Still haven't seen the accountant
watch.
one. But thank you, Jagger. A lot of good news there. I'm actually gonna throw it right back to you here in a second because the first movie that we're gonna talk about that we watched this week is Kill Bill Volume 1, first half of Tarantino's 4 hour, pretty much epic revenge story, but got split into two movies. So we watched the first one, and Jagger, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, I feel like not a fail of a pick, but like I feel like we had to watch two, and I'm just like, damn, like I missed like Barry Lyndon, you guys didn't love, and then Kill Bill, like you to finish the revenge story, you got to watch Volume Two. But I think we all like really enjoyed it. I loved it. So a roaring rampage of revenge. An assassin is shot by her ruthless employer Bill and other members of the assassination circle, but she lives to plot her revenge. The style that Tarantino pulls off in this movie is absurd. Like you're supposed to be like deadlocked in, and like it is hilarious to watch and has so many great aspects. Like I'm sure we'll talk about like the animation later, but like this is a pure revenge story that is non-chronological or told in order. Non-chronologically, is
Yeah.
that the correct word?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
And I watched this when I was like really young, and this has been like an all-time favorite for me for a long time. And more appreciating movies more now and still watching it and be like, wow, that was amazing is really just like more to my heart. I'm like, thank God that movie still holds up and is still phenomenal. I want to hear what you guys have to say more, and then we can hop back into spoilers with me later.
This movie was great. I hate Tarantino. I really don't like. I don't hate him. I
You like
dislike a
all the
lot of his
movies you've
movies.
seen. All the
I
movies
only
you've
like
seen.
Django and Kill.
I feel like your opinion on him might change as we're watching more of these movies.
Yeah, that's why I want to give Inglourious Bastards a rewatch because I didn't like it. Katie had on Pulp Fiction while I was playing Valorant in the background yesterday, and I was watching a little bit, and I don't think I'll like that. But Kill Bill was very good. It was actually hilarious. I did not expect it to be hilarious. Um, the scene with all the Japanese bodyguards, where she kills like 100 of them, was hilarious to me. Like she's just like jumping and like running in air, like jump. She literally had like Jedi powers, dude. She was like floating. Um, I liked how it wasn't just like, okay, they killed me, I'm gonna go kill this person, and then go kill this person, and then go kill this person. It like goes back and then come like they kind of jump times, which I liked. What Jack was saying, if it's non chronological or whatever it was, whatever the word is. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I was like, right after it, I was like, wow, I need to watch Volume Two because it just ended, and I was like, shit. I didn't realize it was literally gonna just like end right there. Volume two was good. I think I liked Volume one better. But yeah,
I also really enjoyed this movie. I just to reiterate what you guys are saying, I thought it was hilarious. The action sequences were great. The sound effects were so funny. Didn't expect that at all. Um, One thing that I thought was interesting was I don't know if you guys knew this, but Kobe got his name Black Mamba from this movie. I did not know that.
really?
I I kind of realized that once like they showed Bill's sword and he had the logo on it. I was
Yeah,
like,
and
oh,
then
that's
her
the Black
nickname.
Mamba
Oh,
logo.
Yeah, well,
really?
I
Yeah.
pointed out the logo to Christian. Christian was like, "No, that's not the logo."
I didn't think it was the logo, but obviously I knew the nickname Black Mamba. I'm like, wait, what the heck? Did Kobe get his nickname from this movie? I thought that's so sick. And then when she's fighting off literally 100 guys coming at her, and she just like goes into this Black Mamba mode, I'm like, holy fuck, that's Kobe. Like that's sick.
What?
It's literally what it is. It's awesome. It's like the
Kobe
mafia.
fights off 100 dudes with a katana?
He
The
doesn't
crazy
pass.
'Cause
88. What are we
killers.
talking about
It's a
here?
one v
Killers,
five.
bro.
He doesn't pass.
Oh my God.
Straight killers. But
So funny.
yeah, but there was like a backstory to one of the characters. Maybe you guys can refresh my memory on what her name was.
Oren Ishii.
Yeah, so there's a
An
backstory
anime
on her,
part.
and this was obviously a live action movie, but then it goes into an anime style backstory on this character, and I don't know if I've seen that done before in a live action movie. It was, I mean, the anime style was special. I thought it was absolutely amazing. The The story was great, a very true revenge story. I gave this a 4.5, but I do think on rewatch it could be bumped up to a 5, especially after finishing the second movie. Really excited for that. But Jagger, definitely happy that you picked this one because it's really enjoyable.
It's a good bounce back from Barry Lyndon. Ugh.
All right.
Yeah, I agree with what Jordan and Christian said. This movie was great. I thought it was awesome. I don't think I am as high on it as the rest of you are. I think that at times it was like a little crazy for me. I understand like that's what they were going for. That was like the goal, but I think it was just some of it was too much for me. Um, but I thought like you guys said, more than anything, it was hilarious. Especially the part when, and this was my letterboxd review. At some point in the movie, she goes, "Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids,"
Yeah.
and I was like, I uh, I audibly laughed out loud. Me, Christian, and my girlfriend Ava watched it together, and it was definitely probably my second favorite part of the movie, behind the anime portion of it. The anime, and I'm not an anime fan either, so I can't speak on the style of it, but in terms of other things that I've seen, but it was really awesome and such an interesting way of including that in there. And that whole backstory was great. So I'm excited for Volume 2. Haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah, that anime sequence might be the best sequence in any movie ever.
It was very
So
cool.
so good. I sent you guys a text when I watched it last time, and I was literally texting Jagger, like freaking out because I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then, and I said to you guys, like Jordan and Christian, like this is right up your alley. Like I knew you guys would love this. Um, just like 100% Tarantino, like you guys mentioned also. Like I love that about it. It just feels like it's 100% his vision through and through. Like completely 100%, like I said, just what he wanted to do. Everything was exactly how he wanted it. Like completely uncompromised vision. um I love the theme. Like the score is so great, it kind of meshes. And if you see the second one, it's more western than like samurai, but I love how the theme kind of like meshes those two genres into it. Like it feels like it can go along with both. And I think those two genres kind of like do go hand in hand a bit in like the style. um but I really love that. Cool Easter egg I thought at the start, when it gets another one. I think I thought you would love, Jordan, is how it gets right into the action. Like it literally starts
Yeah.
off as just a fight. And when that girl, like when she shoots through the cereal box, the cereal is called Kaboom cereal, which I thought was like a cool little thing. Um,
Obviously.
I what else was I gonna say?
Yeah, I have
Um,
another thing about that fight quickly. Like, it starts off with an absolute bang, and there were rumors a couple of years ago that her daughter Nikki was gonna have her own spin-off movie chasing Beatrix or chasing her, and it comes back and she is supposed to be played by like Zendaya, but like it never happened. But I was like,
uh,
Wow, what a freeze frame.
What a
also,
freeze frame.
my
wow.
Wi-Fi just cut out like crazy. I was like, I'm just talking to myself now. Did
Yeah,
you hear the part when I said who is going to be played by though?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
that would have
I
been
need to
cool.
That
forget
would
my
be
stuff.
interesting.
If I just cut out like who was going to be
Yeah.
played by, you'd have
You
no
cut
idea.
you cut out like this.
That might be a funny clip,
Right
honestly.
at the
Oh
punchline.
God.
Right at the punchline.
Um, yeah. So again, just again, like a lot of things I'm saying is just kind of reiterating what you guys pointed out. That whole final act, I put it in my letterbox review. Like I literally just laughed at that whole final chapter. It was just so funny, but also just like not even that it was comedic, but it was just like hilariously good. Like I just couldn't stop laughing at how crazy it was. And there's a point where like after the battle's done and everyone's kind of like escaping, there's a lady like screaming and slipping around in the blood, like she couldn't stand up straight. I thought that was great. When it goes like black and white and then she blinks and it goes back to color and then it's like that blue backdrop with the silhouettes, freaking out. And the last thing I'll say before we go back and forth was like I heard that Tarantino apparently is like not a big video game guy at all, and which is crazy to me because this movie, like the ending especially, like moves like a video game, and I think it's so awesome. Like it goes in, it's like she fights a couple henchmen, then there's like a mini boss, then she fights like a ton of them, and it's like takes out a whole wave, and then she fights like the final boss in this like boss battle stage in like the snow. And when that music starts to like pick up and kick in that final fight, I literally almost like teared up because it was just so good. Like it was just not like sad or anything. It was just so incredible, and I ended up bumping it up to a 5 myself. I'll throw
Whoa.
it back
Let's
to you guys.
go.
I
There's
agree with you on the
really
movie
yeah.
on the video game thing, yeah. Because I was watching it and I was kind of like, okay, she has like different checkpoints of people she has to kill and stuff like that's how I thought of it too. So it's funny you said that. But yeah, I didn't really touch on the anime thing too much, but that was probably like my favorite part of the movie. I thought it was really cool. And my girlfriend, Katie, she hates like anime, cartoons. Like she wouldn't even watch cartoons as a kid. So it started going to that, and she's like, "Oh God, like here, like great." And I thought it was like the best part of the movie. I texted Schnur that I like last episode I talked about how I didn't care about like cinematography or like shots from like directors and stuff, but the shot of when she's sniping that guy through the car and like the camera was like in the hole in his head and they were like looking through it, like the other two people on the other sides were looking through it. I thought that was sick. And the anime style reminded me of in Across the Spider or wait, yeah, Across the Spider-Verse. Um when like Spot, you know what I'm talking about? When Spot goes into that thing where he's kind of like morphing, where he becomes like, you know what I'm talking about, Chase?
No, I'm just thinking of a spot TikTok that you and
Oh
I
yeah,
love.
the best Spot TikTok ever. Um, it kind of reminded me of that. It was kind of like raw, like animation, but it was cool.
While we're on the animation scene, like from that, whenever like a perfect shot in that, you guys should go back and look at is like the when she kills the mom and stabs her through, and the blood entirely just soaks through the thing, and then just blood drops just like start falling on her face.
That's exactly what I was just
Insane,
gonna say.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
insane.
bring that up too.
That was like a story on its own. It was like a revenge story within a revenge story because that
Mm.
little girl ended up killing the guy that, you know, killed her mother and father. So that was really sick.
Yeah, I watched that like like I watch it pretty regularly now. I feel like it's like a little 10 minute like mini episode
It's
or like a
so
show,
cool.
and
Can't
it's
believe I've never seen
crazy.
that anywhere. It was awesome.
Yeah. Um, Something else I wanted to ask you guys. I don't know if you picked up on it. I'm sure you might have, Jagger, just because you've seen it a bunch of times. But when she's in the hospital and like there's the guy like Buck's here to fuck, which also was
Hey,
In
hilarious.
the
fuck.
pussy
And
wagon.
I'm here to fuck.
The pussy wagon was great.
That was also hilarious.
That was
But
funny because I was like, in the beginning of the movie when she was driving that thing, I was like, what the fuck? It's
pussy
like,
wagon.
yeah.
It
Like
made
it's just so
perfect
ridiculous
sense.
and sick. But in that scene, he like Buck like brings some other guy in to essentially like rape her, like her in a coma. Um, and she bites the guy's lip, and then it like cuts to black, and then we come back and there's blood over her, and the guy's dead. And like for a movie that shows so much over the top violence, like why do you think they cut away in that point? Like I was trying to think about like why they could have done that. I don't know if you thought about that at all, anyone, but
I just don't think. I mean, not don't. I think it's just like a choice he made, but he could have. But like, they already showed like the lip like being drawn out so much. I guess they didn't want to show his entire jaw like being gone. I guess,
Yeah, I
but
mean, like,
that scene is
sorry.
insane. Going off of that scene right there, the Kill Bill song, like the whistle, and they're like the side by side when she's coming to kill her and she's just dead, and like you think, wake up, like she's going to wake up before this, but she gets in there and like I think that scene is shot perfectly. I love it that they just come together.
yeah. I also, Christian, you can go. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this answers your question, but it also could have just been like a sign to come. Like she's obviously a crazy fighter, and they didn't want to show like all of her capabilities at that point. It just shows her biting the lip, and then it cuts to black, like you said, and then he's dead. But obviously, throughout the rest of the movie, you see she's just an insane fighter. So it could have just been like showing a little bit of her capabilities, and then going more into it.
That's kind of what I was gonna
Dude,
say.
that lip was like a foot long, by the way. That lip was disgusting. And that actor, by the way, I don't know if you guys caught, but he's in like all the Adam Sandler movies, like every single one of them.
Oh,
Yeah, he is.
really?
The
Yeah.
Yeah.
cross-eyed, yeah.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
Oh,
imagine.
that's him?
Yeah.
That guy's hilarious.
Yeah, I like those answers. That's like one thing I was like, I wonder what the intention was behind that because I was like trying to think about it, I couldn't figure it out. Um, yeah, I think that's really
I
about
just
it for
have, do you
me. For you.
guys like love the gags where it's like they cut out her name so you don't like know her name, and then what else?
The Star Wars.
The sprinkler of blood is unbelievable. Like every time someone gets cut or something, it is like a faucet or just like an absolute, just insane explosion of blood everywhere, and it doesn't stop.
I love
I
it.
love the
I
gags like
like
that.
it.
And
Yeah.
then every
The
time I see like a broken chair of a leg, I always think about this movie no matter what. Like if a nail's hanging off of it, disgusting. Like I always like cringe and just think about that.
the boss Tanaka decapitation is one with the sprinkler where you like it's like
Insane.
off
Yeah.
for a second and then it comes out and it just sprays up and it's like
It's
it's
so
so sick.
funny.
It's crazy. But I'm glad you brought up the name things. That's actually what I forgot I was gonna say was I love how and obviously me, Jordan, Jagger know her name. I don't think you guys, Christian or Chase, know her name at this point. But they like and they do this in volume two also before they reveal her name. Like they kind of say it a couple times. Like they sprinkle it in and they like and you don't really notice that they're saying her name. And I love that, like going back and watching it and knowing her name and like hearing the little details that they put in. But
The way that they reveal the name too in the movie in the second one is unbelievable.
it's
And
incredible.
also, I totally did say the name, and I tried to catch myself here earlier on this podcast. So, Chase, if you're listening back, try to avoid it because I said it and I
Oh,
tried
you
to catch
did, didn't
myself.
you?
I did.
I think I remember you saying it. Yeah.
I didn't
Do you
catch it.
guys?
I didn't even pick
Good.
up
I'm
on it.
glad.
Gotcha.
I'm glad
I don't
because
think
I
I
was like,
caught it.
shit.
There's one quote from the main character. I don't know her name, but yeah, she was getting up for that. She's getting ready for that big fight scene, and she says, "Let me have this dance." That's literally. I absolutely love that because if you know me, I literally always say that when I'm like playing 2K or I'm playing any video game, and I thought that was fucking hilarious. It's like this is great.
Christian's in like a 3v1 in Valorant. He's like, let me have this dance.
One more
Oh,
thing from me that I thought was great was there's so many random sound effects from this movie
Yes.
that you hear all the time, all over the world, whether it's social media, other movies. I mean, Christian was saying like, I wonder if this movie was like the original place that produced these sound effects, and like now they're just used regularly.
I was curious
Um,
about that.
Especially like the one where it's like wow, wow,
Yeah, yeah,
wow,
yeah.
like that one. Like I feel like I hear that on TikTok like all the time.
Yeah. And they had the Star Wars, like, clone trooper.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a famous screen that's in use like a
The
lot of
Yeah.
movies.
The
Yeah.
Wilhelm
There's a name
screamer,
for it.
whatever
I
it's
can't
called.
remember. You know what it's
Yeah,
called, Jagger?
Wilhelm.
Like the Wilhelm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was in there too. But
That's
there are
used
so many.
everywhere.
There's so many sound effects from this movie that you'll hear in so many other movies and other places, which I loved.
There's a great one when she like chops a guy's arm off in the end, and it's like has a kind of like almost like a flowery type of sound to it. It's like really interesting. I don't know how to describe it. Um, but if anyone does anyone have anything else to
I just
say?
thought
Or
about remember like do you remember when she just jumps and stands on the sword? Just levitating.
So I'm saying, dude, she's literally a
Oh my
Jedi.
She's a
god.
maniac.
Bro,
Yes.
Christian, we're watching this movie with Ava. We're watching this movie with Ava, and Christian just keeps saying throughout the whole movie, he's like, "Oh my God, she's different." She's different. I'm like, dude, she's not different. I'm like, this is literally make believe. Like, she's
Bro,
not different.
She's
Bro,
different.
she was
Different.
different, bro. She was literally in that big fight scene. She's like jumping on the railing. She's jumping like 15 feet in the air.
Yeah.
This girl's different, bro. I'm telling you.
did she pull out a
So
move
funny.
where she literally does like the Matrix, like on her back,
Yeah.
like spins the sword and kills three people? It's crazy.
She is literally insane.
Yeah, it was really funny.
All right. Should we give our ratings? We'll go back in the order that we talked initially. So I'll start with Jagger.
5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.
4.5, but I want to move it to a 5. We'll see.
I want to move it to a
Just do
4.5
it.
after talking about it.
Just
But
do it.
I felt like the first one was it wasn't a complete movie, so that's why I gave it a 4.
I give it a 4.
Yeah, that was kind of what held me back the first time. Also, Jordan was like, it's not complete, so I'll give it a 4.5. But like after watching it, I think I just love it too much. So I gave it a 5 as well. I looked up how much a Hattori Hanzo sword would cost. It's like 170 replica.
That's it?
That's
We should get one. We should all chip in.
$170?
I need
It's not
that.
too bad. If you guys want to give me a birthday present,
Hanzo.
Christian's been the
Yeah.
gift giver, so
Yeah.
he will.
yeah, that could be Christian's
Christian
gift.
Santa.
June 20th?
June
21st.
20th. Yeah.
Sure.
Let's go.
Don't actually give
I'll
me
split
a
it with you, Christian.
$170 sword.
I'll split it with you, Christian.
All right.
Sure, just in his room on his wall just has an
It's so
Hattori Hanzo
sick.
sword.
It's so sick. And then when he makes it big in the sports industry and has a massive house, he could hang it above his fireplace.
My
Just
boys
in
gave
case
me
you have
this to
intruders.
kill massive vermin.
Just in case you have intruders, you could chop their head off and watch the blood spray out.
All right, I'm glad we all liked it. I figured we all would. It's a good choice, Jagger. And we'll move on to my pick, which was I Saw the Devil, Korean revenge film from 2010. I want to get these actors' names right, so let me just look them up. Um,
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'll see if I can pronounce them. I don't want to butcher anyone's names, but
It's the thought that counts.
Lee Byung-hun, I
That's
think,
pretty
is
good.
who plays the lead in this. He's also the frontman in Squid Game. And it's about him. He's like a secret agent whose wife gets brutally murdered by a serial killer, and he sets out to enact revenge on said serial killer. Um, I won't give too much of the rest of the plot away 'cause I think it's better if you go in like kind of blind and like don't really know where it's gonna go. Um, so basic thoughts. Also, the Choi Min-sik is the guy who plays the villain, the serial killer in this, who is the lead in Old Boy. He is absolutely insanely unhinged in this, absolutely crazy. So is Lee Young-hun, who's the lead. Um, just a brutal, like gruesome, like insane revenge story that doesn't really pull any punches. Um, super violent, like and grounded and disgusting. And these people that you're like, not only the serial killer in this, but there's like other characters that are just so despicable in this. So it's really like a tough watch. I saw Jagger Sophia's review for it, made a lot of sense. I think
What
Can
was
I
her
talk
review?
about that for a second? So we watched last night. She fell asleep in the hour 10 remaining. She cannot do gore like at all. And this is gory.
Probably for the best.
So then
She
when
fell
she
asleep.
wakes up in the morning and I'm watching The Fugitive on my phone because I gotta finish this last movie before, and she has it on the main screen. I swear to God, every 5 seconds she would be like, "This is the worst movie of all time. Like I hate this movie. This it just makes no sense." She gave her rating of a 3 halfway through the movie, like halfway whenever in the morning, and I'm like, "How are you logging that already? You haven't finished it." And then she went back and gave it a 2 again. It
Because it
was
just
just
got
like
even more
she's like,
gory.
I hate it. I hate this movie so much.
so. Yeah, it makes sense. It's very brutal. It's a very heavy movie. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, then maybe don't watch it. But if you're into that, if you're into like a serial killer, revenge, thriller, detective movie, anything kind of like that, highly recommend it. Kind of gets overlooked, I think, because when you think of South Korean revenge stories, it's usually Old Boy, which is great as well. But this is a super underrated one. I'll let you guys talk about it a little bit more and get into spoilers from here on out.
Yeah, this is the definition of a revenge story. So Schnur is a great pick. They even mention the word revenge several times. I'm like, yeah, this is a revenge movie. But the serial killer, I think his name was Jang. He was just a straight up animal in this movie. Essentially, he had a son, which is also crazy, but he would rape and then murder teenage girls. And basically, the story is he rapes and murders this girl, and then the secret agent guy seeks revenge on his dead wife, and he just basically toys with him the entire movie. The secret agent also is a crazy fighter. He just literally doesn't even get touched the entire movie. It was sick. Uh, but it was interesting because this guy who's the serial killer, like he's the predator to these little girls, but he literally turns into the prey throughout the movie because this secret agent who's hunting him down literally just fucks with him and destroys him the entire movie. Um, and it's kind of interesting because the secret agent, I think his name was Kim. Uh, he actually needs to turn into an animal himself to be able to like get into like a psychological state to take this guy down. I really enjoyed this movie. Like you were saying, it was very gory. My favorite part, or I don't know if it was my favorite part, but an interesting part of the movie was at a certain point, the dead girl, her family, her father and her sister were pleading to the fiance to stop hunting him down, just turn him in, like enough is enough. And then in the end, the sister ends up dying, and then the father ends up getting brutally beaten up. So if he didn't continue to hunt this guy down, that probably would not have happened. But I really enjoyed the film. Really curious to hear you guys' thoughts.
Uh, I have I have three things that I wrote down that I absolutely loved about this movie, and I had one thing that I didn't love, which I think it's a little nitpicky, and it kind of I'll go into that first because I think it goes into Kill Bill a little bit. as well. Something like a similar problem that I had was just the fighting. The choreography was phenomenal, but the one problem that I had was the protagonist, someone who has his name, anyone,
It is
think it's Kim.
Soohyun.
Kim Soo Young.
Soohyun, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
just
Soo
not
Hyung.
Kim.
Christian
It might
said
Say?
it might be
Kim.
Kim Soohyun, but I'm seeing like
I, I
Soohyun
think it's
on
Kim
here.
and Jang.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
okay.
Kim is the secret agent. I
I
think
know
Jang
it's Zhang.
is the killer.
Yeah, Jang is right. Yeah.
So we'll just say the protagonist. He he was so like equipped to fight in these battles, which I didn't love. Like every single time someone swung at him like this, he caught their arm like this, which I didn't love. I thought that he was like a lot of times came out just like completely unharmed, and unscathed. Like there was one point where he when he did get like slashed in the back, he did get hurt. And then towards the end, he started to get hurt a little more. But like I would say like the whole first half of the movie, he was just like the perfect fighter, which I didn't love. But that again, like I said, I think I'm being a little nitpicky on that part. But the other three things that I loved, the woman in the beginning of the movie who was killed, in the first like what was it, first 5 minutes, probably not even.
Yeah.
Um, I felt her impact on the movie through the whole film. She only had like maybe 3 minutes of screen time, and I felt her with the film the whole way through, which I absolutely loved. I think she made a huge impact. And a lot of that was through her fiance. Was it the fiance or husband?
I think they're
Fiance, that was my
married.
bad.
They were
Oh,
married.
the
Fiance.
fiance?
His
Yeah.
fiance, that was my
Oh,
He
bad.
okay.
Thanks.
proposed like 1 month before she died.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And you can feel her impact through the fiance and through the family, which I thought was so well done. Um, other second thing that I absolutely loved was the car scene. The car scene when the villain, Jacob again, his name, I'm sorry,
Zhang.
Jang.
Jang. When Jang is in the car and he's fighting this taxi driver and this guy in the backseat, and the camera's just spinning around the car. That was one of the coolest scenes I think I've ever seen in any movie I've ever watched in my life. Like,
Wow.
immediately, I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "This is
Wow.
incredible." I had to jot it down in my notes to make sure I didn't forget about it. I thought that was absolutely incredible, and just watching him just like stab the taxi driver next to him while the other guy's in the back like holding his neck, and he's taking care of both of them like this while the camera's just spinning the whole way through with the 360 was incredible. Um, and then the ending too, like again, spoiler, the whole ending was awesome. I felt like a little unhappy with the ending once he left him there to die in like the cellar, like locked up or whatever, and he left. But then the family came through and it totally sealed the deal for me.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was like, okay, well, he got his revenge, blah blah blah. And I was like, but I still feel like I'm missing something. And then as he's walking down the road, he just breaks down and he finally lets out this emotion that he's been holding in the whole time, which is I think something that I was looking for the whole movie. And it just proved that even through all this revenge and this journey that this guy's on, that it shows that even like that's not enough, and he's not going to get his fiance back. It was just incredible. I absolutely loved it. I thought that the ending of it just totally tied everything together for me in what I wanted.
Jordan.
Oh, shit. I'm up. Um, yeah. Let me get my thoughts. I agree with Chase. I'll go backwards, I guess. I don't know, because Chase said it first. The ending was great. I was like, how is this going to end? That was probably the perfect ending in my eyes. That was great. The family shows up. You hear he has a son, like slightly for like a minute when he visits like his when the protagonist visits Zhang's family. And you don't really hear about it for the rest of the movie. And then they show up at the end, and he was like screaming like, "Don't open the door! Don't open the door!" Because then it's gonna basically trigger this like trap that will like chop his head off. And they're like trying to get in. They're like, "What's wrong?" Da, 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 da. They finally get in, and his head gets chopped off. The family walks in. His son's there. His parents are there, and his head is just severed. And I was like, "Holy shit!" And then yeah, he started absolutely crying, which I was kind of waiting for that as well. Because even at the funeral in the beginning of the movie, you don't see him. You know, he's just his whole family is like hysterical crying, or her whole family's hysterical crying, and he's just kind of sitting there with like a blank face. He found so I was texting Schnur while I was watching it, and he found Jang. I don't know, 30, 40 minutes into the movie, And I'm like, okay, like how is this gonna progress now? And then he just fucking with him, like destroyed him, let him go. It was pretty much just catch and release, which I think they mentioned, like if you're actually like hunting, like if you're hunting for deer or something, or like fishing, you catch them, you release them, you go back to fishing. Let's say you catch the same fish. It was pretty much just like that, and I like that analogy. Um, my favorite part in the movie was the house scene, where Zhang meets up with like his friend or his partner, whatever it was, just another psychopath, and he's eating this like weird meat, and I'm like, what is he eating? Like, it was like saucy and red. I was like, what is that? And then they reveal that he's eating like human flesh or like a body part or liver, whatever he was eating. So that's just absolutely disgusting. Um, and then obviously like the whole fight scene with that. If you go back, I thought it was so funny. The protagonist like jumps up into like a window, and he had this like puffer like leather jacket that he like doesn't have the hood on, or maybe he does. I don't know. It was so weird, and he like jumped up, and then he gets in the house, and he like unbuttons the top and like just goes down, and I was just like, what? Like, I don't know. It was just like a weird part to me.
I saw that too. It's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I really like this movie. I gave it a 4.5. I wanted to give it a 5, and I was gonna write this in my review, but I wanted to save it for the podcast. I never have to like look away at movies. I probably looked away at 10 to 12 minutes of screen time in this movie. I mean, the protagonist literally like knifes this guy's Achilles like out
Yeah.
of his.
That was sick.
Oh my
That
God.
was unbelievable
So
practical effects. Right? That
What
gross.
about
was
the
sick.
the screwdriver in his
The
cheek?
screwdriver through
Yeah,
the
that's
cheek.
crazy.
Oh man, dude. I had to look away. I was actually like cringing. It was nasty, but yeah. I mean, I liked it. I didn't want the movie without it because I thought that it made the movie. But yeah, I just couldn't give it a 5 because I mean, I just had to look away.
Yeah, this thing absolutely rips. I agree with a lot of the points you guys said. And Jordan, I was right there with you, like not knowing like where is this gonna go, because like we know who the antagonist is 2 minutes in, like we know what's happening. Like I was like, where is this gonna go? And the whole prey thing is absolutely sick. Like we were just talking about the Achilles, the practical effects on some of like the brutality were absolutely insane. When the antagonist is hammering her dad's face like just repeatedly with that dumbbell was just insane. Going along with that scene in like when they're in that house and like that 15-minute or 10-minute block of just like pure tenseness, you're like, what is going to happen? Like you have absolutely no idea, because this movie is so unhinged and so deranged, like anything could happen, you have no idea. So I loved that. And then along with that, didn't realize there were jump scares in this movie. So I got caught by two of them bad. The one at the beginning where she puts the lights on and he's like in the corner, like jumping into her windshields. And then the one where like because I totally thought he was in the room whenever like the daughter was like walking slowly like towards like from the light to the dark, and he just appears and like spears her out of nowhere. That got me bad too. But I agree with like whatever you guys said. I absolutely loved it. The only question I have is so the five of us all rated it a 4.5, and I know three other people in the app and they gave it a 4.5. What is holding it back from being a 5? Jordan, you said it, but what is like holding it up that it's not a 4?
Hmm.
You're,
Good
I'm sorry,
question.
wait, you're asking why it's not a
Yeah.
4?
So out of eight people that I know, everyone gave it a 4.5. No less, no more. Besides Sophia gave it a 2. That doesn't count. But like no more, no less. Everyone gave it a 4.5. And when I'm thinking about it, I don't know why it can't be a 5, but I'm like, no way that movie's a 4.
Yeah, I kind of am like the same thing. Like I think I mean for me, I save my fives for like the very best. I think like my very favorite movies that like blow me away. And this maybe isn't on the same level as like those, but I thought about it. Like I strongly considered it. Um, I don't know. It's really
Yeah,
holding it back. I don't know. That's a hard question.
it's kind
I
of like how it. You
Go
go.
ahead, Jordan.
I was gonna say kind of like it's how it makes you feel. For me, at least for my fives, and that's why I think think I only have like 10 5 stars or so. Like Sure mentioned in one of the earlier episodes, I don't have a lot of 5 stars. And that's not because I'm like so picky. It's just kind of after the movie how I feel about it. And I don't know. I don't know if it's like a cultural thing, like because it was in Korean and, what if they made an adaptation of this that was very similar in, you know, America or something like that. Um, Maybe it would be a 5 star for us, just being more familiar with it. But yeah, I don't know. And I don't know why I would say it's not a four for me because because of the story. I thought the story was very good, but also it was like a gruesome practical effects, but it also had a very good story with it. Um, and I was kind of wavering 4.5, 5 the whole movie. And the ending for me was like, okay, this isn't a four. This is definitely a 4.5. I really like the ending. But yeah, I don't know why it's not a five.
I
Well,
think, sorry, Chase. I was gonna say, Jordan. I think if you, because you were saying it might have been a five for you at one point to me. I think if you watch it all in like one go,
That's true.
I think it might have hit five for you.
That's true. I did stop halfway through and then had to go back.
Sorry, Chase. What were you gonna say?
yeah, for me, I'm very picky with my 5 stars. Jordan says he's not. I feel the opposite. Like I'm very particular. Like I'm very harsh on 5 star movies. Like I said, I think that the one problem for me was just like how incredibly well versed he was. Like especially like I'm thinking about the car scene too, like when he's driving towards him and he spins the whole car around and perfectly lines up with him in the street and picks him off his feet and just brings him in the car with him. Sick, really, really cool scene, but I just think like
It's
I
kind of
don't know.
crazy.
It was just a lot of it was crazy to me for like what for someone who was supposed to be like he was like a CIA agent, right? Like
Yeah, he was a
It was
secret
just
agent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one
yeah.
thing
Supposed
I'd
to
say to
be
that, Chase, is like he's. I would say he's the equivalent to like like a Secret Service agent or like something of that nature, where they're probably in the military before.
Yeah.
He has all these skills. So I don't. I see where you're coming from, but I also think I don't know what the Korean military is like. Like I don't know what the top level of I guess combat is, but I'm thinking like he could be like up there. That's why
Yeah,
for
that's fair.
me it was like okay, yeah, this guy's a beast.
That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna agree
And
with you, Jordan, on that. Also, sorry, Chase. But I was gonna say, I agree a little bit because like, not only is he like probably ex-military, he's like government trained, like insane fighter. But he's also fighting just like regular people who are just psychos. Like, it's
Yeah,
not like he's like going up against other crazy fighters.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where I think he has like a
yeah.
big advantage. But
And then I think the reason to answer your question, Jagger, why it's not a four is because of how much I love the ending. Like the whole way through, I felt like I was missing something, especially while I was wrapping up. But then like they gave me what I was looking for, what I wanted, and then I was like, okay, yeah, like this is not a four because I was gonna give it a four, and then the ending like kind of sealed the deal for me.
I think I'm with you on that. Yeah,
The ending was insane. I love how like feel like the whole movie people are like talking to him and being like stop doing this, and then the
he's
even the
like, I'm just getting
antagonist is like
started.
you lost, and I love in the end it's like he lost. He went about it poorly. He caused the dad to die, and the other or they both died. The dad and the daughter both died,
the
right?
I don't
dad,
think
the
I
dad
don't think the
lived.
dad
Dad
died.
survived.
He was
Dad
just like
survived and the daughter
destroyed.
was like found, yeah, so like he lost, like he could not get anything, and he was like, all right, I lost, I'm stooping down to this level, making your family see this thing, like this is how insane like I am, like I know I lost, but like I'm gonna make other people feel the pain that I felt, even if it's not you, I'm gonna make people feel it close to you and get even with you. I think that part of the ending was absolutely sick, and that's what raised it to a 4.5 from me when it was probably to be a four.
Couple things really quick. I think it's very close to a five, but going back to the ending when he's listening to him screaming to his family, "Don't open the door," because he's got the earbuds in, and then it like just cuts to silence is kind of like what he's been waiting on the whole time, just to like that guy's now like he's gone, right? Like silence is speaking volumes there. Um, but with the title being "I Saw the Devil," I don't know. I didn't see the cover of the movie of whose face is on it, but what do you guys think? Who actually is the devil in this movie? Is it both of them, or is it just the serial killer? What do you guys think?
I have an interesting thing I picked up on with that kind of was when they first like meet each other and they're in that like greenhouse. Um, the what is his name? Jang, right?
Jang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jen.
Jang like picks up a scythe off the ground to fight him with, which I think kind of symbolizes like death, like he is death. and then he gets absolutely demolished by the other guy who's like he's like even more powerful than like death itself, kind of,
Yeah.
which is where it's like, and I think, um, so I think it kind of applies to both. It's like, yeah, this guy's like pure evil. Even his friend, like Jordan mentioned, like that guy, like you think the Jang is pure evil, and you meet the other guy who's like maybe even worse.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, like, I think that your protagonist who you're rooting for kind of loses himself and becomes like a devil in his own way as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyone
Yeah, I
else?
thought. I mean, I thought watching the movie too. I also was thinking. It's funny you say that because I was thinking that maybe the devil's intended to be the protagonist, but I then like as I was going through it, I was like, yeah, maybe not. But after what Schnur just said, I kind of also kind of reinforces that point. I think so. Now I'm kind of rethinking it.
I think it could be both. I think it could be interpreted different ways. But if I could give this movie on Letterboxd like a 4.75, like I would. Like
Yeah, I agree.
it's like in the middle, I'd say, of a 4.5 and a 5.
Yeah, so I don't think that this one was a 5 star for me simply due to the fact that it wasn't as unique as another revenge movie like a Kill Bill. I mean, Kill Bill is in a different category, I think, of uniqueness, and I just don't think that I Saw the Devil uh pushed it to that level for me. So that's why I have it at a 4.5. But I know Schnur, you wanted to say another comment.
Yeah, well, in terms of Kill Bill, I think I think you should watch Lady Snowblood, which is very influential for it. I mentioned I watched that a few weeks ago. You'll notice like maybe not as unique, like stylistically it's unique, but like story wise maybe not. But I kind of agree. I think similar kind of thing. Like it's not as unique maybe as like a 5 star would be. Like it really sticks out like that. Even though I do love that it kind of subverts your expectations with like this cat and mouse game that they're playing. The last thing I just wanted to say was that for a movie that doesn't really pull any punches, like at the very like the one thing they do or they don't show at the start of the movie, there's a couple times where there's like decapitations and they cut away, like they don't show it, and they save it for that last like final moment where he decapitates Jang. So I think that was just awesome how they built that up and really like saved that moment for the big climax of the movie or the biggest moment of the movie. Um, and yeah, I think with that, um, we'll go to our ratings. Again, same thing as the order that we started talking it. So I'll start off. I mean, I think we all kind of mentioned it. I gave it a 4.5. Should I just say we all gave it 4.5?
We
Or
all gave
Yeah,
Yeah, I
four and
I'll
a
think
give
half.
I
four and a
think
half.
Jagger
Half across
spoiled
the
it.
board.
4.5
Yeah.
across the board.
So you don't have to go around. I'll give it 4.5. Really great movie. This movie honestly was the reason why I wanted to make revenge movie a category because I really wanted to show you guys this. So I'm glad that everyone loved it. And we'll turn it over to our third and final movie of the week with The Fugitive. So Chase, you can start it off.
All right, so this was my pick, as Sure mentioned. I'm gonna try to do a non-letterboxed thing today because I think this one might be a little easier for me. So I'm sure I'll spot it anyways, but we'll see what happens. So this doctor is falsely accused. The surgeon specifically is falsely accused of murdering his wife, and essentially this movie follows him across his journey of being a fugitive to the Chicago Police Department and the detectives of Chicago. Um, Christian's laughing at me, so I'm curious. Am I botching it? Do you think?
No, I'm just
I think you're
stretching.
fine.
Okay. So this movie follows him, Harrison Ford, along his journey of being a fugitive in Chicago. And I watched this morning, so I think I have a very fresh uh, take on it. I know Christian watched it this morning as well. I almost didn't, but I'm very glad that I did because I really enjoyed it, especially because it was my pick. I love Harrison Ford. I watched it a long time ago when I was probably like 10 or 11 with mine and Christian's grandpa, but haven't seen it since. I can't focus with Christian laughing at me right now. I
He's
don't
just
know.
smiling into the
I'm just
camera.
smiling. You're bringing up good memories.
So, um, yeah, I'll let you guys chime in. I do want to say though, just again reinforces my point of how fucking awesome Harrison Ford is. But go ahead to whoever's next.
I enjoyed this movie. I think Harrison Ford is fucking awesome, and along with him, Tommy Lee Jones. I think they're both pretty big forces when they're on the screen. I thought Julianne Moore was going to be a force when she was on the screen, but she was in it for about 10 seconds.
Yeah,
I saw her as like she was like a third like credit list or something like
in the
that.
beginning, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
was
saw
like,
that also.
gone, gone. She was in there for no time. Like, oh, she's gonna come back, play a key role, Nothing.
Jane Lynch made
Wasn't
a
expecting
sneaky
that.
appearance too.
Yeah,
Is that the girl from Glee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had more of a role than Julianne Moore, but this movie is just like you watch it and you're just like fuck yeah, like you just say I just think that's like what you say during this movie.
It's a
It
fuck yeah
just makes
movie.
sense.
I agree.
It's just a fuck yeah movie. I don't like I was trying to like put my thoughts into like words this morning, and I don't really know what I love about it. I don't know what I dislike about it. One of the biggest thing is I think it just drags a little bit. I don't know if it's because I was watching this morning, but it felt like the longest 2 hour movie of my life. I just thought we were moving at a pretty slow pace. And I didn't love that, but I mean, I was having still a good time with it. So I really, my thoughts are just everywhere with that. And then I really did not expect the twist of the friend being um, the main guy, like who's working with Sykes and working with, I forgot what the other guy's name was, but I just did not expect that, did not see that coming. So I really like, I love whenever I can't see any sort of twist coming, and this certainly did that for me. Um, I love how we're like, this wasn't really revenge type, but we got another cat and mouse game, just like we did with I Saw the Devil. Like Tommy Lee Jones is chasing him the entire time and can't get him, and finally catches him at the end. But slightly different ending. But that's what I got to say about it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with not being able to really talk about it too much because you know, with the other two movies, there's all these like stylistic and like the anime scene Kill Bill, the gruesomeness in I Saw the Devil, but for this movie, it's kind of just like yeah, it was a solid movie. And obviously, it's a completely different style than those two, so I'm not trying to compare it to those two, but just as far as like the movies that we picked for this week, I feel like this was like the outlier of the three. Um, I agree with Jagger. Yeah, it's just like a fuck yeah movie. Like at the end, like you know, he got cleared of his name. Tommy Lee Jones is like, yeah, I believe you. Where in the beginning he's like, I don't care, whatever. I thought like the ending was pretty good. I did see that his friend being like the villain. I saw that coming personally. Because it's like kind of I was trying to like when I watch movies, I try to figure out like, okay, Sykes is working for someone. Who the characters that we know like would be, the guy, and it's
Bro,
like,
there's no way you picked up on Sykes. He was in the movie for 10 seconds in the beginning.
why would no no no? But like, I'm not saying like right in the beginning, but I'm saying like Sykes was working for someone.
Yeah, but
I
he was
thought
in the movie
Sykes was
for like
working
10
for the
seconds.
guy that died. I thought he died in that car accident, but was just like living somewhere else. I'm like, okay, he's alive. Then when like we got like the ends that the other guy was working for him, I was like, okay, did not see
Yeah,
that
I didn't
coming.
get that part, but I'm not saying I predicted the entire end and saw the like exactly how it was going to play out coming. I'm saying I knew that his friend was going to be involved with it somehow because that guy he kept popping up and
Thought it was
not
sus.
not too much was like coming from him. Yeah, I thought he was sus exactly. Um, but yeah, I like the bus scene. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. The bus scene with the train that was really cool. Um, the whole he jumps off the what is that thing called? Dam?
Damn, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he
Dude,
survives that. I
they
don't know how he survives that.
When Tommy Lee Jones said he just Peter Panned off this thing, and, like
That was
pulled
funny.
a flip, I was crying.
Yeah, I mean that's probably like a 200-foot drop. I don't care if it's into water. You got to jump.
It might have been
What?
bigger than that, bro.
You got to
It's
jump
pretty
20
large.
feet out just to not hit the wall. So that's like one thing where I'm like, all right, but it's a movie.
Well, the force
Um,
is with him.
yeah, obviously.
Force
Um,
is not with him.
So hang
but
on, while we're on the topic of the dam jump, me and Christian were talking about how Harrison Ford runs kind of funny. His legs always look kind of botched in every movie when he's running. I saw earlier that uh, he did a stunt for the dam jump, and he made the dam jump, and he tore a ligament in his leg. So I wonder if that had to do with some of the running in his leg, Christian. That you saw later on when we were like, oh my God, he's
maybe,
running kind of funny.
probably, yeah.
Possible.
Um,
But he did most of his own stunts, which was cool because he had like that train scene, like you said, jumps off the train and then like down into that little divot in that hole.
mhm.
That was really cool.
When they're like boxing him in into the tunnel. Did you guys think they were like so much closer? Like the way that they made the camera look,
Yeah.
like they were right on top of him. Like he was not escaping. He had nothing to do.
I
Like they
agree.
checked behind like the front of the ambulance. They're like, he's not there. I'm like, yeah, because you look 5 feet in front of you.
You
He's
just
running
saw him go
away.
under. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was a little like besides that, I'm trying to think of the rest of the movie. I think it was kind of just that where it's like, okay, how did he get out of that? But, it's also a movie,
Fugitive.
so it's fine. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I feel like if you like Harrison Ford and you like Tommy Lee Jones, you're gonna like this movie.
Yeah, I mean there were some silly aspects to it, as you guys are mentioned, but I mean it was fun. It was a lot of fun this movie. I did see that Tommy Lee Jones won the Oscar for this. I guess
Did he?
as a supporting
Really?
actor, I guess.
Wow.
I thought he was great, and I'm a big Tommy Lee Jones guy.
Yeah, I like him.
I don't know if that's Oscar worthy, but it was good. I don't know what the lineup was that year. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention was I don't know if you guys realize, but every single time, obviously Harrison Ford is in these, like action movies. Whenever he punches, the sound effects are so fucking loud. Like every movie he's in, and I'm like, is he doing his own sound effects? Like, why are his punches so loud? It's great. But yeah, it was just a fun movie. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. Just like you guys.
One more thing I have to say is so they're talking about, oh, like long hair, beard, brown hair, and he like dyes his hair black. I'm like, why don't you just shave your head off?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
what I
why
would
don't you
do.
just get a haircut? Like, just get a buzz cut. Like, they're not gonna recognize you.
Also
But
when in the hospital when the cop is like describing the fugitive's description and he's like, "Oh, that sounds like me, except without the beard." Like,
yeah,
yeah.
That's the Harrison Ford wit, though.
Yeah, that
yeah,
was good.
yeah. No, I get that.
No, it's fun. It like adds to the fun of the movie. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
that type of
he
movie.
like he like had to check up on that on the one person that like could
Yeah.
recognize his face. And he's like, "Oh, how they do it?" Checks it. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna put the gas mask over you, and we're gonna take the
Yeah.
ambulance. We're out of here."
Yeah, and then of course with the ambulance, it was the other cop that was coming out of the ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course it was him. Of course he saw him and he stole that ambulance car. It was just really funny.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what you guys said. Train sequence was great. I thought it was a really, really great part. Pretty much just like a solid standard thriller. Also, like Jordan said, like nothing really impressive or like groundbreaking stylistically. Just like a solid standard movie. Still enjoyed it. You guys mentioned Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, all great. And the silliness is also kind of like I wish it leaned into it more because like it kept making me think about Trap, which came out last year, which I really liked,
I haven't
and
seen
that's
that.
like kind of like
Oh,
similar-ish, but it like fully leans into the silly and it becomes kind of like a dark comedy in a way, and that's what I think makes it like really good. And I think that this could have done that a little bit more to like took itself a little bit too serious, which is what brought it down and made it a little bit like boring at times because of like there's a point where he goes to like meet an inmate and he's like on the run, he's a fugitive, he just like walks into this like he just walks into like a police station and like walks out like he's finally this like
he was
this
able to question that one guy.
yeah, the cop looks at him, recognizes him, but just doesn't stop him and just like watches him walk away. There's
He's like
like
at
he's
the
in the
prison. Hey, Rich, what
hospital.
do you got for me today? Like,
He's like there's a point when they're in the hospital when like Tommy Lee Jones is looking for him. And they're like, why would he come here when it's loaded with police? And then a guy with like one arm just like bumps into them. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, like it's like there's things like that. It's kind of silly, but if it would have like leaned into that more, I think it could have been like kind of funny and I think it would have been more entertaining and I would have liked it a little bit more. But yeah, still had a solid time with it, enjoyed it. Maybe a little bit worse this time around. I've seen it before. But yeah, like, solid Harrison Ford action movie.
Yeah, I do want to apologize to you guys because I know I mentioned last week that I wasn't too sure if it was a revenge movie. I think you can make a tiny argument for it, but I think we can all probably agree that it's not really, um, that style of revenge that we were looking for, especially compared to the two movies that we watched, two movies. Um, but yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm a sucker for Harrison Ford, so I loved him in this one, and I also loved the part of the movie when when he's in the hospital as the janitor, the Julianne Moore scene, Jagger, and he like checks in on the kid and like he sees it like they suck at their jobs, like they don't know what to do, and
Yeah.
like he's like, oh, I gotta help this kid, and it's kind of like he doesn't know what to do and he's trying to balance both, and then he just takes the kid away and just like totally defies orders, like forges signatures and just like
Yeah.
saves the kid's life.
Could you imagine
Um,
a janitor performing surgery on a kid and just like walking out
I mean, he didn't do
fine?
surgery, but
no,
Sure,
he,
like
no,
whatever
no,
he
no.
did.
He
He
just
brought
brought him
him.
he
there.
just
Yeah,
brought
he
him and
brought him
told him
to
what
the
to
right
do.
location. Otherwise, he was gonna be like critical.
Yeah.
Um,
But he was like under his breath, he was like, check the x-ray.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
was so funny.
yeah. But I mean, Harrison Ford again, like just a legend. Love the guy, so I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
What about ratings, or do you guys have more comments?
I'm good.
Only thing I would have to say is with the Julianne Moore, like I looked it up because I was wondering that too. I was like, why is she in this if she's not really going to be in it? But this was like a really early role for her. Like she wasn't really in anything big at this point. Like, this was pre like Big Lebowski and Boogie Nights and like Children of Men. Like this
I'm just confused.
wasn't
Why
that
would
big
they
yet.
have her
Why? Yeah.
credited so early though?
Yeah.
Like if she wasn't big, why are you giving her that respect? Give Teddy from Memento the respect because he was in there. Also, if you notice, if you rewatch that, he puts on and takes off his coat about 20 times during that movie. I was like,
What was his
just
name?
leave it on. Cosmo.
Smith?
Sparkles? Oh,
Cosmo.
Cosmo. Yeah, he had a funny name.
Sparkles.
It was, I don't know. It was something weird.
Did he?
I
Where
loved
did
I
you
loved
get
I love the
sparkles?
dynamic. I love the dynamic between all of the I don't know why I picked up my TV remote here,
Oh, the
but
Marshalls.
of all the Marshalls, like how they're all having good times and then just like hanging out, like even Tommy Lee Jones like let go. And he was like set all the perimeter, do all that, and like don't let them make fun of your ponytail. And I was like, that's pretty
Yeah.
funny. I like
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah. Joe Pantoliano is the guy's name who plays Cosmo and Teddy. He's like maybe one of the best character actors ever, I think. Like he's like so good in every single time he pops up and you see him as like a supporting actor in a movie, you're like, all right, like this is gonna be fun. Like he'll be entertaining.
Yeah, I like his voice.
Lenny.
Yeah, I like his voice.
Great. Yeah, so no other comments. You guys want to go to ratings?
Sure. I give it a
All
4.
right.
Actually, I do have one more comment if you don't mind.
No
And
worries.
Sure.
I wanted
Go
to
for
ask
it.
you guys about this. So I was briefly explaining to Christian while I was watching the movie. I was like, I'm really enjoying this and like I enjoyed this. I felt like in the moment I was enjoying it more than than when I watched I Saw the Devil. But I feel, and I know Jacob hates it when people say this, like objectively, like I feel like I Saw the Devil is like a better film, better movie. But like I enjoyed The Fugitive more, but I have the respect for I Saw the Devil to give that a 4.5. But I enjoyed The Fugitive more. So like, how do you balance that
I
rating? You know what
mean,
I'm trying to say?
dude, that's like me. Like if I'm watching, you know, some crazy movie that's like good, but I can sit down and watch Draft Day. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
it's, you know, a 2.5 star movie probably.
Like, how do
It's
you guys balance those types of ratings?
I I just think at the end of the day, like the reason I'm not really like an objective versus like what I like is like at the end of the day, like it's art. Like it's not like an objective truth of like what's
Yeah.
good and what's bad. It's just kind of like what works for you. So like maybe like one movie has like really great like technical aspects like from the director. Maybe it's like really well written and you can appreciate that, but you're like it just didn't really work for me. Like then like I don't know, I'm gonna rank it lower than something that maybe has like a flaw here or two. Like I think Kill Bill, like Jordan mentioned, like it's half a movie, like it's not really a full movie. But like I have so much fun with that movie, and there's so much that I just absolutely love. That like yeah, I'm gonna put that over like I don't know, like an Oppenheimer, which is like technically unbelievable, but like
Yeah.
right.
I don't know. Like I think
Across
It's
it's
the
really just what you
Spider
enjoy.
Verse, Across the Spider Verse is a complete full movie. Like we still have so much like left
Yeah.
open in the end, but we still all probably have it at a 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's your rating.
Yeah. I mean,
There's no
I was
right or wrong
struggling with
way.
it because
There's
I
a
was
lot that
like,
goes into it. Like, sorry, Chase, but I was gonna say, like, The Fugitive is a very enjoyable, easy watch, and I think that's why it's probably rated for you higher than, I Saw the Devil, which is it's a great movie, but I wouldn't say it's like, I mean, it's enjoyable, but like it's also not enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like to watch that.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was curious about that because I gave I Saw the Devil a 4.5, and then I gave a 4 for this one, but I feel like I enjoyed The Fugitive more. So I don't know. Maybe my rating system's a little wonky. Maybe I have to like kind of think about some of my ratings going forward.
Yeah, I also just think at the end of the day, like it's like arbitrary letterboxd ratings. It's like we can sit here and talk about like this is good, this is bad in it, that we like this and that, but like I feel like Stars is like 90% vibes. Like it's just like what
Yeah.
like vibe did this give you? Like did it blow you away like a five, or is it like maybe it's I don't know, like missing a little something, but it was great, like 4.5. Like I don't know. Like I think
That's what I go off of.
yeah.
Missing the movie Missing wasn't great, but
Yeah.
the way that we were all like our experience
We
with
all
that
watched
that
it
movie was
together.
It was fun.
That's a
phenomenal.
4.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
all give that a 4, right?
I think I gave it a
Something like
four and a
that.
half because it was like the experience was so
Yeah,
like
that was
fun
awesome.
with
That's
all of
why
us.
Like we're all
I'm
screaming at the TV.
yeah.
He's behind you!
I'm so excited to watch Revenge of the Sith in theaters with Schnur for that reason.
Oh.
See if it makes a different impact on him.
Christian's gonna be screaming yes in the whole movie.
I'm gonna be
We'll see.
sweating. It's gonna be insane.
We'll
A
see
good
with that.
sweat.
But let's go with ratings, Jordan. You said you gave it a 4.
Yep.
Go to Chase next.
Yeah, I give it a 4.
All right, Jagger
3.5.
and Christian.
3.5.
All right, I gave it a 3.5 as well. Let's go back in that same order. We'll go Jordan, Chase, Jagger, Christian, me, and we'll rank the 3 movies. So Jordan, you could start off.
Ooh, I didn't even think about this. Fuck. This is very tough. I'll go Kill Bill 1, I Saw the Devil 2, and then The Fugitive 3. But that's, they could all be in a straight horizontal line for me.
You'll have to bump up that Kill Bill rating too. I think you got a little lower than
I
Devil.
had it at 4. I think I said earlier I might move it to a 4.5 after watching Kill Bill Volume 2, because I think Volume 2 is at a 4 for me. And then I would say Volume 1 I liked better. So I gotta bump that up right now, 4.5.
According to my letterbox ratings, I Saw the Devil, then I'll go Fugitive and Kill Bill. But like I said, I think I might have enjoyed the Fugitive more than I Saw the Devil, so I'm a little confused right now. But I'll go I Saw the Devil, the Fugitive, and Kill Bill.
One thing,
Or did I
this is
say that
really
right?
funny.
Yeah, I said that right.
Look at all 4 of you guys rating The Fugitive in a row.
It's awesome. It's a good aesthetic.
I go with Kill Bill 1, I Saw the Devil 2, and The Fugitive 3.
Same here. Not even gonna repeat it. Same for Jagger.
Yeah, on the same rating as well. All right, we're gonna head to our game, and for this, I'm gonna have to share my screen. So we'll cut quickly and be right back with the game. So yeah, we can cut right now. All right, we're back with our game here. We're going to do a tier list ranking of the Star Wars franchise, all the live action movies. So no TV shows, no Clone Wars in here. I'm glad Christian just mentioned Revenge of the Sith because that transitions perfectly into this. So the way that we're going to do it here is initially we're going to rank everything A through D, and then at the end we're going to determine which one is the worst and belongs in the sand category at the bottom, and which one is the chosen one. What is the
Sand.
chosen one Star Wars movie?
So just one? Just one.
One is going to be
One
the
for
chosen
each.
one. So we'll go A through D first.
Okay.
Just
and
one
then
gets chosen one?
only one can be the chosen one, and only one gets put in sand because we hate sand.
Whoa.
And we're all
Um,
collaborating together, Jacob?
We're all gonna like we're gonna have a little debate about it. Yeah. And
Christian's got his lightsaber.
so
All right, let's get all right, hang on.
All right.
I have a strategy, but go ahead, Jacob, if you have more to say.
I'll just say also like rank them based on how they are like as movies, I would say, not like where it would rank in the Star Wars franchise, like as a movie, like where would it rank?
Individual
You know?
movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
So
Okay.
like
Let's get the
So-
bad guys out of the way.
well, we're gonna go in release order.
Okay.
As you
Okay,
see
fair.
down here. So we'll start off with A New Hope or Star Wars. I'll
Well, If
who wants to kick it off?
That's a B.
I mean, we could all talk together, but if we're talking about in terms of, how well the movie actually is, I think you could argue that that's an A.
Yeah, on A or B. I
Mm.
probably lean towards A because it's the one that kickstarted all of it.
I agree.
Individual movie though?
If
Yeah.
if we're talking about how well the movie is made, as Jacob said, instead of ranking in terms of what is the best Star Wars movie, like subjectively, I think this movie has to be an A.
Well, I think do it subjectively, but just base it on like how you think it is. Like
As an
you
individual
think that
movie.
like if you think Star Wars like A New Hope is not like an A tier movie for you, then don't put it in A. But if you think
It's
it is an
not.
A tier movie, then
Yeah.
I think I would put this in
A
A personally.
Yeah.
I think
For
it's
me
a
it's
agree.
B, but like we could put it in A. I mean it's majority we'll go majority here.
Like I think maybe B, but like yeah, I think I would go A just because of like
It's
you said the influence. It started it off. Here, right there. All right, our first selection A. For Star Wars now,
God.
I think this shouldn't be too hard. This should be kind of consensus. I think
This
Empire Strikes
is
Back.
this is the best movie of all time, so we can put that
I mean,
in
that's
A for
A.
me.
I think
Yeah,
it's got to be
that's
the chosen
A.
one.
This is an easy A. We'll
Well, we'll
determine
talk about the
chosen one at the
chosen one
end.
after.
Oh, we pick the chosen one out of the pack.
So we
So
rate
yeah,
them
so
A through
Oh,
D,
okay, okay, okay,
and then we
okay.
pick one sand, one chosen after.
Oh,
yeah.
my bad. Okay, so yeah,
Sans.
definitely A.
All right, Star Wars starting off hot with two A's. I think those are both fairly easy. Um, Controversial one, I think. I think we all really like Return of the Jedi, but I know a lot of people are kind of cool on it. I'm a big fan. I'm good putting this in A, but I don't know how you guys feel.
I'm good putting it in A.
I would
I'm a
put it in
huge fan
B.
of I'm a huge fan of Return of the Jedi, especially after watching all that trilogy back to back to back. I think it's a perfect bow tie to or perfect tie on the gift of Star Wars to round out that trilogy. So it's A for me for sure.
This
Christian?
one
That's
I would go back and
tough.
forth on, to be honest.
Like for me, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi are both A's. And A New Hope compared to those two doesn't do it for me. That's why I'm New Hope at B.
That's yeah. I mean, I feel like Empire's absolutely in there, but like I like Star Wars the original over Return of the Jedi, but I wouldn't be mad putting it at A, rounding out the trilogy. Like I'm not mad at it.
It's just it is a perfect trilogy. Fuck.
You guys thinking A? Like I think I like it a little more than the original Star Wars as of now.
I
I'm due for a
agree,
rewatch,
Schnur.
but
I'm with you on this.
Toss it up there.
all right. Starting off really hot. I kind of assumed that. I think because those original three are arguably the greatest trilogy of all time. I'd probably put it like second for me, but um, yeah, obviously all incredible. Now we get to the prequels. I think controversial ones. I'm definitely a lot lower on these than you guys are. Phantom Menace, like I'm good putting Phantom Menace in D personally.
No.
No,
There's
no.
At
there are some
least
great
C
At least C.
things.
for Darth
So
Maul.
I think
But
that
Darth Maul doesn't
there's
like speak really. He's in, like
I
one
Dude,
scene.
that
there's like
last fight scene
yeah.
is the best.
I think the last 45 minutes is just outstanding.
I could give it C just
Um,
because of Duel of the Fates. That's the only.
Exactly.
I
I
don't
think those
think
2 or 3
anything
scenes are so
outstanding.
good.
I don't think there's anything outstanding, like incredible here. And obviously introduces like some unbelievable characters and starts one of like
But not D
it's such a
though.
great no. I think it belongs in C. I
I
think it's
would
a
go
firm C.
C.
I
I
go
don't think
C.
there's a way in hell it's in B. So
Yeah, no chance. I think nothing outstanding. Duel of the Fates is pretty incredible.
I mean, look at Maul in that poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
but
they
you're
don't use
basing
him.
Maul off of Clone Wars and
No, 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 no,
everything
no, no, no. I'm
else.
not.
He's
I'm
good in the
not. I'm
Phantom
not.
Menace.
He's
I
in
like
one scene in
him.
Phantom Menace.
The
That
reason why
last
you're
fight
saying that
scene
is
is the
you
best though.
solely put Maul just like as this one movie. He does almost nothing except for fight them in the end, and he doesn't speak. He
Yeah,
doesn't
but
do
for me,
anything.
that
But
fight in that
You- I-
last 40, 30 minutes bumps it from a C from a D or
No, I think
to,
it's a
to a
C.
C from a D. Jesus.
I think it's a C, but
I mean,
I
Jar
think
Jar
it's a C
sucks.
for other reasons.
I also think the pod racing scene is iconic, which I love. I don't know
I
what you
think the
guys.
pod
I
racing
like the
scene is
pod
more
racing.
iconic for the Lego Star Wars level than it is for the movie.
It's
I
a
mean,
great
that's
level.
it's also an all-time
Crazy.
video game.
incredible.
It's an all-time video game.
It's very
Um,
difficult to
Me and
just.
my boys 100% of that 2 years ago.
Go.
That game is
Insane.
Great
great.
level. It's a great game.
I think C is good.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll leave it in C.
I think we're
Uh,
all in consensus on this next one.
Attack the Clones. Is this a D? Like I think
I
this is
think
a
it's
D.
a C. I think it's right on the level of
C?
Phantom Menace.
I
maybe
enjoy
slightly
watching it.
better.
But as
I
a
think this
movie
sucks.
individually, I think it's a D.
I
I mean,
think it's D.
I would go C
but I
personally.
can. I think I'm C because I can say the same thing. I love when he slaughters all of them, and I love the ending.
I think
I,
it
I
gets,
like the last 30 minutes.
I mean,
I think it gets too much hate. I think it's not the best Star Wars movie. It's not in my top 5, but I think it gets too much hate.
I think it's underappreciated that it's also like Obi-Wan goes on this whole other expedition that's like a mystery
That
about
opens up everything.
trying to figure out yeah,
Okay,
This is
entire
peak
thing that
this is peak
Palpatine's
Padme
unlocks.
too.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, like
if we're ranking strictly on this movie by itself, Attack of the Clones is trash. But when you put it in the trilogy of the first 3 movies, when you watch them consecutively, which I did, it makes it better. So if we're going solely based on movies standalone, I have to put it in D.
I think this movie sucks. I like the whole. Not even just the like I hate sand, which sucks, but like the rest of that scene too. Like he like there's like an awkward like touch of Padme's hand from Anakin. Like he's just the worst in this movie, and he's like so
He's so
boring.
good.
Like they're just like hanging out together and like whatever. Like they shot Italy, I
Yeah,
think, but
I
it's
It
know.
is
just
so
He's not
hard
so
supposed
for
to
me
boring.
show
to
him. He's not supposed to show emotion.
differentiate like all of this,
Yeah,
like just
just like
from
The only-
not a Star
individualized.
Wars
The only
movie.
important things from this movie is that they're making the clones and that they're on Camino and when Obi-Wan goes there and that the final whole
Final
fight
30
sequence.
minutes.
And
Yeah,
that
like
the
that
chosen one falls in love and with a
you can
forbidden
literally
love that
cut
Jedi
everything
can't
else out of this
The
do.
movie.
fight scene with Yoda and Dooku
Insane.
and it's
Dude,
great.
Dooku's great.
Anakin versus Dooku is shot so bad though. They're like flashing back and forth between their faces, just like standing there with like lights flash. Like I don't know. It looks terrible to me.
I
All
say
right,
D.
let's get one.
I'm
Yeah, what do you
leaning
guys
D.
think?
All right, you can go D.
Well, I would
Uh,
say C.
I think
Christian
I'm-
C.
majority
I
I'm
here.
think
C.
Well, there's
All
three
right.
C's, two D's.
All right, we'll go C. That's crazy.
C for sand.
Here we go.
You get overruled on this one, Schneider.
This one's an A.
This is
It's
not an
going.
A.
It's an A.
Absolutely an
I'm
I'm
A.
putting this in
Absolutely.
C for sure.
Bump it.
Is this a
easily C.
dictatorship?
This is
One
not
more?
a C. This
This
is
is
an
easily
A.
a C movie. There's
You know where it's
legitimately.
going, throw it an A.
We're not
I'm not
putting that in the
throwing it in
sand. Don't put that in the
I
sand.
can't
This
put
is
an A
a
yet.
dictatorship. This is a
I
dictatorship.
can't
if
put
it
an
doesn't
A
go
yet.
an
We
A.
have to talk because this is not an A movie.
Well, it's an A, so.
This is
What's
my
an A about this
sixth
movie?
rank movie all time, I
The-
think.
Dude, the first 30 minutes rips. It absolutely rips, bro. They
You
start
guys,
guy, they go down, they fight Dooku. Kenobi loses the fight. Anakin comes in, kills him, they escape.
Obi-Wan's
it's the
fight against
worst.
Grievous.
The ugliest
Obi-Wan's
movie
fight against
ever.
You
Grievous
can
is
see
phenomenal.
the dark side, like
It's fucking
slowly creeping
incredible.
into
Anakin's
Anakin
fall
and
is
turn him for his
incredible.
love.
Order
Anakin's fall is
66 in
not
live
incredible.
action is awesome.
Mace Windu's death. Come on.
Mace Windu's death is
Maybe death.
garbage.
He might be alive.
He's
It's
not
so
dead.
He
cringy.
might be alive.
The fight with Palpatine and all those Jedi is like the ugliest, like worst choreographed fight ever.
Look,
I
Schneer,
wish they
all,
didn't do
like,
Kit Fisto like
CGI.
that. That was bad.
I
I'm putting
know
an
I
A,
go
but
off
you guys are nuts.
vibes.
And then the final battle is just it's the most
All
peak
time.
Star Wars fight you're gonna find.
Dare I say
Like
one of the
40
greatest
minutes long.
duels
There's
in
no
all of
emotion because
cinema?
you never see them build up a relationship.
No emotion. All you hear is "You are my brother, Anakin." You said
But you
you
don't
would
see them as
destroy the
brothers.
Sith, not join them.
When do you ever see them as brothers in the movies?
It's great.
They're brothers.
They're never brothers.
They're
Born and raised
brothers.
brothers.
They just say they're brothers.
They're
Does
brothers.
the movies do a poor job with some of their character development? Sure, but
Absolutely.
if you're a true Star Wars fan and you watch the Clone Wars, you know they're brothers. They're brothers.
But this came out before Clone Wars was a thing. We're rating this as a movie. Is this an A movie?
Yes.
I think it is.
It is.
I literally cannot put that down from it.
I go off
Absolutely
purely
psychotic.
vibes, and this is A vibes.
I think it's psychotic, but okay. Force Awakens.
Now,
Could
this
be.
movie is fucking
Could be.
great.
This movie rips.
It's an A?
I think this is a B.
I think it's a B as well.
I would put this above Revenge of the Sith, but
I think it's
think-
a beautiful beginning to the new trilogy. Gets you excited about the next two movies. I think it's like on the cusp of A, but I have to throw it B.
I can settle for a B. I can settle
Yeah.
for a B here.
It's not in
It's
top
a-
Star Wars.
It's not on the par with those four movies.
It's very
no.
good, though.
It's just not.
It is
It's
very
close.
good.
It's not there.
it's ahead of this one. But I'll put it in B.
Now, this next one we got coming up.
I think this is another B too.
Hear
I
me
think we
out.
all like Rogue One.
I understand the B, but this movie, I love this movie.
This movie's so good.
Dude,
It's so
movie-
good.
This movie's an
I'm-
A.
I'm an A.
This is
I'm an A for Rogue One. It's so
Sure.
Probably
good.
Rogue One is an A movie.
Sure, I agree
It's
with you. I think it's
so
a B.
good.
And I love Andor, but I still don't get like that much from this. I think it's better than The Force Awakens, but I think it's right on par with those two. I think Andor is better than Rogue One. What do you get from Rogue One? Like some
I agree.
It is good, but like the main thing that is talked about from this movie is the final seconds of Darth Vader plowing through them. That's it.
I
It's
mean,
like one,
It's
2
it's
minutes.
iconic, but I think it's
That's-
such a dark, gritty movie. I think it's essential to the storyline with Leia.
Well,
But
another,
if we're looking at an individual movie,
let me hang on. Let me make an argument here. So Jacob and Jagger, what are your gripes with this movie as an individual movie? Because I know a lot of people complain about that Star Wars is too hellbent on the Skywalker saga, and I know that this is technically Skywalker, but this is a completely unrelated story to like these are totally different individuals, totally different characters to what we've previously seen.
Do you want to go, Jagger? Or?
I
I'm gonna go
mean,
first.
I just gave my points. There's good stuff to it. I still think it is a good movie, but I think it belongs to B. I can't see it going up there with A, with the rest of them when it's not. I just don't feel that way towards all of them as an individual movie. I would be like, all right, that's all right. It's a good movie. B.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the new characters. I think the characters are, like pretty boring. Like I think that's a big flaw with it. Like I don't think any of the characters are really like memorable. I think you mentioned Andor, but that's like a show that is good.
I
Like
am
in
one
the
with
movie,
the force is with me.
I'm not
okay, I
even.
do
I
like
haven't even
him.
seen
I do
Andor.
like him, but like
Andor
Jyn
is better.
Erso is like whatever. Like I don't really care about her.
I love her and
Um,
her dad
She's
and
great.
part of the Empire. It's so
but you
awesome.
love her because you love the movie, but she doesn't like. What does she do that's like interesting? What's interesting about her character? She's like,
I just think the backstory of her character being the daughter of somebody who is like a scientist working for the Empire, it just fits so well within the story.
I don't know. I think she's super bland. I think it looks great. It's Greg Fraser. Um, looks incredible. You mentioned that last 30 minutes. The Vader scene is elite. I think Tarkin looks like crap in this.
Yeah,
Um,
they did disservice
and I
there.
just think, like I said, like as a movie, like is this an A movie? Like
I also think the ending outside of the Vader scene of obviously them dying on the planet, like in the sand, is just so good.
That's what
it's really good.
yeah. Like
Is it better than Force Awakens?
take away the Vader. I still have the same thoughts on it.
I think this is better than The Force Awakens.
I
I do
think it's
too.
better, but I think it's there. But if it's 3-2 for A, that's
No,
at the
Oh,
end of the
I'm
list.
also thinking B.
I think it's fair to put it at B.
I think
Can we
it's fair
add
to put
like
it
an A
B.
minus?
Just
I
put it
can't
ahead
put
of
Rogue
Force
One
Awakens.
confidently in the same conversation as Empire Strikes Back. I can't do it.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
Rogue
that's
One at
fine.
B. I'm good at
Sure,
Rogue One.
put Rogue One to the left of the Force Awakens so we can signify that it's better. Thank
I
you.
agree with
Okay.
that.
All right.
It's really B plus A minus.
So
Last
should
Jedi.
we rearrange A then in that case?
No, because I think
At the end.
because we're gonna decide from
Who?
which one
What's
in
the best
A is
one?
gonna be the
Yeah.
chosen
Oh,
one at
okay,
the end.
gotcha.
Um, all right, Last Jedi. I haven't seen since it came out in the theater. Um, really due for a rewatch. I know a lot of people like apparently really love this now. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't. What are your? I'm like leaning C just from what I remember, but I don't know
I'm,
what your guys' thoughts.
I mean
I
C or D for me. It doesn't really do it for me.
That's so interesting too that people are starting to like it because I just didn't like it.
But
I've
the
only
same
seen it
thing happened with the prequels.
Yeah, it's like you
People
gain
hated the
appreciation
prequels when
over
they came
time.
out.
But I also just don't love the decision making they do in this movie, and it kind of just brings it down for me. Like
Yeah,
I hate the
I totally disagreed with what happens with Luke Skywalker, and I hated that relationship between Finn and the other girl. Like I wasn't about that. Like,
Nah.
and again, something Jacob that you and I always complain about is the whole movie. Finn is like, Ray, I have to tell you something,
Well, that was
and
Rise,
oh,
but
that's Rise.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. So, but
But they're still trying to develop Finn, and then it's just like
and it just doesn't happen.
doesn't
Like
really
they
go
went
anywhere.
away. They went away from Finn in this movie, and that's why I didn't like it too.
I rewatched this recently, probably within the last like 6 months. Didn't finish it, but I thought it was better than when I first watched it. I think part of the hate was because it's like we think Force Awakens is a great start to the sequel trilogy, and then we got this, and it was like, well, we hate a lot of decisions they did there. They just killed off another one of the big three. Like, how are you gonna do that? It has one of the worst characters of all time in that what is her name?
Rose.
Finn's Rose is one of the worst characters of all time. I know the escape pod talks about it, and there's like a massive clip of the Royal Guard scene. Like the choreography there is absolutely horrific, but
monks
I
a little
enjoy
better.
it. I just think it looks cool, but I don't think it's as bad on rewatch as it was. I'm leaning C or D. I really wouldn't be pissed about it in D. I wouldn't be
Let,
pissed about it in C. No
let me
way
tell
it's
you why
B.
this is a D movie. Let me tell you why this is a D movie. Now, let's remember, I believe it was this one and not The Rise of Skywalker. Let's remember the whole ship getting blown up and Leia fucking levitating her way back. Are we kidding?
That is
Yeah,
this
that
one.
was
Yeah.
bad. That was
Bad.
What the
bad.
fuck was that?
Bad. It's
This
not.
is a D movie.
It's not George Lucas Star Wars. This is bullshit. I don't know
I,
what this is.
I think visually this is the best like of the Star Wars. I think this looks the best of any Star Wars movie ever. Now I'm not
I
saying that's
mean,
like it's good, but I think it's better than these two. Like I think it's better than Attack of the
Oh,
Clones and
No,
Phantom.
dude, no
wow, I don't know
shots.
about that.
This is a
I
D
think it
movie,
is.
and it may look the best, but it was also what 2017 versus 1970s and early
No.
2000s.
Okay, but okay, Chase says this too about the prequels with how it looks. Like the prequels came out after Lord of the Rings. They came out around the same time as Transformers. Like those movies look way better than the prequels. So like I feel like that's not really like an
Transformers
excuse.
came out in like 2007.
Yeah, and
They're
Revenge
like
of the Sith came out in
completely different
2005.
though. Like, Star Wars is in space. Lord of the Rings is not in space. Like they're completely different looking.
But I'm just saying like the CGI special effects like looks way better. Like, would you, and I mean I think the original movies look better than the prequels too.
I mean, the original movies are special, yeah.
I mean, that goes into like a practical effects and CGI argument though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the practical effects is all the
I
originals.
prefer practical effects. I would go C.
I'm thinking C as well.
Oh
I'm thinking
God.
C. I don't know if
Now,
anyone else.
if we were ranking our favorite Star Wars movies, this is a D. But we're talking an individual movie, I would go C.
I
So we're
mean,
thinking C.
it's fun.
I'll put it low C for you, Jordan, because it seems like
Thank you.
everyone else thinks that the prequels are better than this. But
It's a D plus C minus.
all right, so I'll put that in C. Still no D's, which is interesting. I think we might get there soon, though.
Oh yeah.
We're about to
Um,
get back to back.
Let me take the
got
lead on
two.
this one.
We got
I'll
two
let
Let me
you
take
take
the
the
coming
lead
lead
up.
on
here,
this
Chase,
one.
on
Solo
Solo.
sucks. That one's
Solo
going to D.
sucks.
Dude, I remember watching Solo and thinking like it's all right, and I literally haven't thought about it a single second of my life ever since. Like it's
That's what I'm
just like a
saying. Like,
nothing.
there's nothing
I
memorable
mean,
about this
it's all
movie at all.
right.
I totally disagree. Um,
Ugh.
it's not amongst my favorite Star Wars movies, but I do think this movie's solid. I think that you guys maybe should try a rewatch. It got absolutely no hype when it came out. Like I don't even know if it was in the fucking theaters. I have
I
no
just
idea.
watched it like
I,
6 months
was
I
ago.
remember
definitely in the theaters.
I remember seeing this on Netflix and I was like, why the fuck is this on Netflix?
Because it's
Um,
fucking garbage.
This movie
yeah,
sucks, dude. Like
it's
Woody
just
Harrelson is a bad villain in this.
the
Like,
characters are just very uninteresting because they're not the main characters really. Like it's
what do you
obviously
mean? It's Han
Lando.
Han
Solo.
Solo,
It's Lando and
he's
Han Solo, but
Chewbacca.
it's not like there's no
very.
like yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but
Rogue
that's the
One
same
doesn't
thing
have
with
any
Rogue
main
One.
characters, and that movie's fucking great.
I mean, yeah.
I don't even remember the plot of this movie. I think it was so bad. All I remember
I just
is
remember the
Yara
end.
is
like the
like the red
castle run.
circle with Darth Maul.
It's
That's
like
all I
how
remember.
yeah, it's like Darth Maul with what's the girl that plays in
Kiara, I think her name is in this
yeah,
movie.
Kiara. What the hell's her name in real life?
Emilia Clarke.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Amelia
Oh, yeah,
Clark. Yeah.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Dude,
Mother of
there,
Dragons.
like I said, there's nothing memorable about this movie. Like, Jagger can't even remember the plot of the movie. Like, how could you possibly put that in C?
It's a D movie.
No,
I
I
can't remember the plot
agree,
either,
but
personally.
now I feel like you guys are rating it based on what are your favorite movies rather than
No, I'm
what
rating it based
No, I'm
on
just
No, but it's like
the
rating
movie.
forgettable.
It
Like
this.
if it's
sucks.
forgettable, that's like a negative, I think.
I'd be fine putting it in D, but I do think that you guys should maybe consider a rewatch. I
Put
don't think it's
Solo
good
in
though.
D.
I
I
don't
like
watched
think
it a
Donald
couple
Glover in
months
it.
ago,
I
and
like
it's
Donald
not
Glover
good.
as Lando, but like I'd put this below all the ones in C for sure.
Exactly.
I would too.
All
Do we need
right.
to talk about this last one?
I don't think we do.
Put it in
But we
sand.
will.
Put it in sand.
We will. I'm gonna put it in
Let's get a
D.
conversation about it.
Dude, I
I
think.
mean,
I don't
Okay,
even want to talk about it. It's gonna make me mad.
So-
spoiler, it sucks.
I really kind of spoiled my argument here with Schnur, but we and Schnur always talk about how Finn is always like, Ray, I need to tell you something. And in the whole movie, he's like, I need to tell you something. It's just this whole thing. Like, that's the purpose of his character in this final movie. And he never tells her, and we never figure out what he has to tell her. And everybody knows the whole kissing scene debacle at the end and how Palpatine is back, Palpatine's returned. It's just like,
Always in the shadows.
there are like a couple of things that I like about this movie in terms of visuals and just like seeing Star Wars, and when did this come out? Like 2017, 18?
2018, 2019, something like that.
Like seeing Star Wars in the new age in IMAX when I saw it was really, really cool on the big screen. But like, there's outside of that, there's really not anything to like here.
100% agreed.
If we say we're looking at individual movies, like just take out the fact like, oh, Palpatine returns. A part I really, really like about this movie, if you guys go watch the opening scene, the visuals there when Kylo's looking for like the Horcruxes or whatever they are.
That's Harry Potter.
Absolutely. Is it?
That's Harry Potter.
My bad. The
I know what
the
you're talking
Sith-
about.
The Sith,
Yeah. The
whatever
Sith
they're
Finder?
called.
The holocrons?
Maybe.
No.
Holocrons.
No.
Yeah,
that's-
holocrons.
I know.
Is
I
that
think I don't know, but whenever he's going
I
through
don't
that,
know.
and he absolutely like demon mode, like tearing through everyone. The planets he goes through are absolutely sick. And I know the Palpatine shit, but when he submerges into on Exegol and sees Palpatine and like this horrifying imagery, just like of him like popping in with a light. I think you guys could go back and rewatch that scene. It is sick. The rest of the movie just drops off a cliff.
I agree. I mean, it looks sick. Exegol is sick the way it looks. The whole last like I guess battle scene, whatever you call it, visually really cool. But the story sucks. Everything else about this movie sucks.
It's terrible ending, Jordan, too.
Horrible
Like,
ending.
I'm
It's the
Ray
worst ending in
Skywalker.
Ray
Yeah.
Skywalker,
The
fucking
kiss,
horrible.
The kiss,
And
and
then you
Yeah,
see-
the kiss, just
Then you
not
see a
needed.
dead Luke and a dead Leia Force Ghost. Like, it just makes no sense.
How about
Bad.
the when they're like, I don't even remember what planet they're on, when they have like the Death Star that's like crashed or whatever, and she holds up the little thing to like find the location or whatever that she has to go to, and it just like perfectly lines up with the
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
protractor.
yeah, like it like points right to where I have to go.
Yeah,
like,
the protractor.
randomly.
Yeah, dude, it's so bad.
It's so bad.
She's
Yeah,
in
that
fucking 10th grade geometry
they
class.
just tried to do crazy fan service with this. That's all it
Yeah.
was.
Bad.
Mark
think-
Hamill's god awful too. I know he's not in this one, but we didn't talk about it.
Bro,
Oh my
and they had-
god.
They had so much hype for this movie too because J.J. Abrams was coming back for this one,
Ray.
and it just like it literally could not have been a worse final Star Wars movie of that trilogy. Just garbage.
I think even Last Jedi, which like I know Jordan really didn't like it, and like we're saying we don't really love it, but like at least you're like there's some things you like, maybe some things you hate, and you're like you feel an anger towards it. Like this just feels like nothing. I feel like the Red
Totally.
Skywalker just feels like you walk out of the theater and it was just nothing.
I literally walked out of theater and I was like, that was dumb.
Yeah, it's like that sucked. Like, and I have no feelings towards it.
I
Also,
remember-
if I remember correctly, the trailer literally has Palpatine's voice in it, and it's like, okay, like one, he shouldn't be back, but even if he is back, why are we giving that away in the trailer? It's so
Yeah,
dumb.
his laugh is at the end of it, and there's also another poster that they released. I didn't use it here, but like you can literally his face in the poster, like
Like,
looming in the back, like Kylo's is in this one.
And there's no like how did Palpatine get back? Like it's just like I mean like yeah, they go into it a little like oh whatever, he's has all these dark Sith powers. It's just fucking Leia and she's like always in the shadows. Like what?
At the end,
What are you
doesn't-
talking about?
Dude, it ruins Darth Vader's sacrifice, and for that reason, it's fucking sand for me.
I
It's
think
sand.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think which could be cool is they're gonna expand on the whole cloning thing that they're doing
Watch
in
the Bad
things like
Batch.
Mandalorian and Grogu and stuff. We're going to try and salvage whatever happened here and create like reasonable things.
To
Just make it
me,
better.
Go watch the Bad Batch.
No
to me,
thanks.
that's on the same level as Avengers Multiverse. Like I don't want to keep seeing like cloning shit and stuff like that. I don't know.
I'm just
That
ready
makes-
to get
It
a
could be
wait.
good. I don't
that
know.
makes no sense because that's
Bring-
the Clone Wars makes the
No,
the
I know what you're
prequels
saying.
I'm fine
like
with the
that.
clones.
I'm fine with people going back and trying to retroactively make things better than what they were, and I think that's what Star Wars is trying to do in salvage.
I just don't want them to fuck it up more.
feels
I
like
don't
a
think you
spam
can.
at this
I
point.
literally don't think. you
Yeah,
Just-
I guess not.
There's so many better storylines we can get into. Like, let's go to the Old Republic. Like, let's do something that's
completely
just
agree.
away from the Star Wars saga. There's so many good fan fiction made stories or legend stories that we can get into. Like,
And I
Don't
think that's
worry.
why the
Ryan
Clone
Gosling
Wars.
is here to save us, and
Oh,
so
fuck
Sean
no.
Levy.
Christian, I think that's why the
Kennedy,
Clone Wars
resign.
is so good.
Kathleen Kennedy, this is for you. Resign.
She's not listening to you.
I think I'm going through a tornado right now.
Uh
Kathleen don't care about you, little bro.
oh.
I completely
This shit
agree.
is insane.
I'm tired of seeing like Order 66 over and over and
Schnur
over and over
hates
again.
Order 66.
I didn't think it was good the first time, but like the more they showed, I'm just like, dude, like we know what happens. Like stop putting it in everything to try to get people to like get excited.
It still excites
I-
me. So
What
it works
about
on
Order
me.
66 and Clone Wars though?
I'm
That's
so-
so perfect.
I'm so tired of like it is perfect in Clone Wars. I'm so
It's a
tired
different
of
point of view.
the like the main character being like a struggle between the dark and the light. Like find something else interesting, bro. Like I'm sick of it. Like it's every single storyline. Like I just watched the first episode of Andor today. Right out the gate, I said to Christian, like, it
Wait,
felt like
wait,
Blade Runner.
wait.
It was like
Sorry,
it felt
do
like
you guys
completely
hear
different.
this through my mic and stuff?
Do
No.
not hear it.
No.
No.
It sounds like dimes are being thrown at
It's probably
my
hailing.
Imagine
hailing?
Jagger got sucked up through his ceiling right now.
I think I'm
What a
gonna lose
made for
power.
content.
We would,
that would
we would
be.
finally go viral.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, Jack
Just
just
suck
picked up.
'em
Oh,
up.
he just
Oh
froze.
god, did we
God,
lose
he
it?
froze.
Oh god, I think we lost him.
Alien brains. They're eating his brain.
Oh my god, I think we lost him.
Oh no.
Is he dead?
Go on, Schnur. Go
Right.
on with your point.
I think we have to
I
click.
was just saying that like just like they keep like repeating the same things over and over. Like I said, it feels like spam. Like you're spamming me with Order
Look at
66
Jacob's
content.
Dude, he looks so scared right now.
Um,
Sorry.
no, and I was just saying that I watched the first episode of Andor and like right away the opening sequence was like he walks through this like neon like tunnel into this bar and there's like these holograms. It looked like Blade Runner more than Star Wars. And I was like, oh, this is like sick. Like this is like really cool production design. It looks different. It feels different. So I'm excited for the rest of that because it seems like something brand new.
Yeah.
Um,
To
Jagger.
to kind of go off of that, I think you can still tell stories within the Skywalker saga, like a Mandalorian, like an Andor, but I don't want to see them expand it into like a couple of movies on the big screen. You can do that in a TV show. I think The Mandalorian is worthy enough for a movie, but let's not expand that into 2 or 3 movies. Like let's have that as one movie and let's end it. Outside of that, if we're gonna get back into the movies, if you're gonna do another trilogy, let's go somewhere else in the timeline.
I have a bad feeling that Mandalorian and Grogu is going to end up somewhere around this range, like a C range,
Yeah.
personally. That's also one of the worst, not really one of the worst, but that the title, like The Mandalorian and Grogu, is just like what a just lazy name.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
are we doing?
I don't think it's gonna be good.
Right.
But
We'll wait for
it is
Jagger.
Filoni and Favreau though, so I don't know. It gives me a little hope.
Also,
Pretty good.
it flops. Star Wars is in trouble. That's for sure.
I think all of Disney's in trouble because they just don't care. All these like streaming, like Netflix. You see the whole Netflix
Yeah.
thing with like that Russo brothers movie that is like the most expensive movie ever, and it's like terrible.
I don't think they
Really?
have to care.
Because at the end of the day, they're still going to be making
Like no
shit
one's
tons of
watching.
money in the box office. Like a Star Wars and a Marvel. Well, I don't know about Marvel because I know like Captain America flopped. But if Marvel's putting out like an Avengers movie, like that's going to make money in the box office. A Star Wars movie, since it's like once in a blue moon, it's going to make money.
But like
Yeah, but it's like
think about Disney as a whole. Like I don't think they have to care with the new subscription stuff because it's not based on like how much money you make at the box office anymore. It's, you know, I don't know the complete numbers. I might be completely wrong, but if someone signs up for a Disney subscription, they're paying that no matter if they're using it or not. Like if
Yeah.
they're watching a Star Wars movie or not, they're still getting paid. So I think that's why they don't have to care as much.
I
You know what
guess.
sucks too? I think it's even fair to say that Pixar is starting to fall off a little bit too. Which
That
kinda-
also just might be like we are growing up.
Nah, dude. Soul. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
Soul was great,
Soul was fantastic.
but
There's-
Inside Out 2 was solid.
Yeah, it was
It was,
solid.
it was solid. It was solid. I think a lot of people like Luca. I haven't seen Luca. I don't know if you guys have seen
It was
that.
all
I
right.
haven't seen it.
It's okay. All right, are we gonna cut like most of that, and then
Probably, yeah. I'm just waiting for Jagger to get back.
yeah,
I mean, I'm literally going through a tornado right now.
I don't think we need to cut this.
Yeah,
all
maybe.
right, he's frozen again. So yeah, we'll wait for Jagger.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here.
He's here.
Here it is.
Let's go chosen one
Are
Sam.
you gonna roll with your phone?
Yeah, I have no choice. I'm going through a tornado.
Okay.
Sick.
All right. So first, before we get to the chosen one, we'll determine which of these two in D category fall into sand. And honestly, I thought about making this like somehow this movie returned, calling it that. But I thought that'd be too on the nose for what I think we'd put in the bottom.
Yeah.
I think Rise of Skywalker is pretty easily the worst Star Wars movie.
Throw it down there.
Put it
We
in.
all agree.
Totally
Yeah,
agree.
I mean, it is, but I will say, like, I think a big thing for me with Soul is like it's just not memorable. So it's like that's I don't
what?
know. I feel like you could make an argument for that into Sand, but I think that we're all pretty on the same spectrum for
I agree.
Rise of
Like
Skywalker.
I want to be like, oh no, Solo's worse, and here's why. But I literally don't know.
Like, I'm sure you can find good things in Solo. There is nothing good about Rise of
No.
Skywalker.
It's not that bad.
Solo's
But-
not good.
Solo,
But Rise
it's
of
like
Skywalker's
Han,
worse.
Han Solo originally like falls in love with Kira, and then he has to like get off of his planet, and then he ends up like getting the Millennium Falcon from Lando.
Yeah, I
the
remember that.
gambling thing, and then he does like the Kessel Run, which is obviously talked about.
Yeah.
Like it's not significant to adding anything to the story, but it's not like a dead end in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
Just like meh.
Yeah.
Jagger's back. Jagger.
I have
think we all pretty much-
I have
we all pretty-
survived the tornado.
Oh.
Twisters. Glenn Powell's behind you.
With that smile, good luck.
Smiling.
We all pretty much agreed Rise of Skywalker, I think, is going to be in the sand.
Yeah, works for
Chase was
me.
saying, maybe Solo, you think Skywalker? All right.
I would. Yeah, yeah, you could toss Rise of Skywalker down there. They're very close to me. Like the fact that I can't even remember Solo's plot line is pretty disgusting. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we were
it's
just talking
true.
about.
It's a good point. They're both really close. But yeah, I think Rise of Skywalker just for what it was supposed to be, that it's like a main story, like main storyline movie, that it's like the conclusion of a trilogy, and it's that bad, I think.
Let
Pretty
me ask a
gross.
question. Does Rise of Skywalker have rewatchability for you guys?
No.
I think I've rewatched it once since then.
Because I don't
Yeah,
think Solo gives that to me at all.
Solo gives me none of that. I will never rewatch that. And Rise of Skywalker, like I'll watch just because it's like part of that. But as an individual movie, I think Rise is
Yeah.
worse.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
because
We'll leave it at
Rise,
that.
if
I
I'm
was just
rewatching
curious.
Solo, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. If I'm rewatching Rise, it actually like aggravates me.
Solo doesn't rip apart the Star Wars like storyline.
Yeah.
Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker does.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think I would only watch it if I was like, because I would watch the other two and the sequels. Like I would give Last Jedi another chance, and I would definitely watch Force Awakens. But like, so I would watch Rise of Skywalker just to complete it. But like, I have no
Yeah.
interest. All
Rise
right.
also has this puppy, but we'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah,
All right. So unfortunately for Rise of Skywalker, that is the lone movie in the sand category, the worst Star Wars movie for us. Now we get to the best. We'll decide from these four in the A tier. We have the original Star Wars, we have Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and Revenge of the Sith. Um, I'm gonna fight hard to not put Revenge of the Sith in the chosen one.
I'm
Like
with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah,
it
I
is not the
mean,
best movie.
as an individual movie by itself, I think Empire absolutely belongs up
Yeah,
there. As much
I'm
as
with
I
it.
would love to see Revenge of the Sith up there in the chosen one, it just doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen,
I
we,
mean,
we we did a 1980s best movie draft on IMDb, like the top rated movies, and Empire Strikes Back was number one. Like it's objectively a good movie. I don't know how it's not the chosen one.
all you need to know is that Empire Strikes Back is on my wall behind me.
Boom.
Yeah,
So that's my pick.
yeah, I
I think
agree.
it's flawless.
Arguably, I mean, one of the greatest sequels of all time, arguably the greatest twist of all time. Super iconic movie. Pretty easy one for me as well. Except, like, I haven't really given them all like a rewatch in a little bit, but on my last watch, like, I did think Return of the Jedi was honestly pretty close for me, which might be a hot
I
take.
agree. No, I
No,
agree
dude, I
with that.
agree. Return is
I
good,
like
especially when you
Return.
watch
No,
them
it's like
consecutively.
I'm the same way. I see a lot of people like strongly disagree with that. Like, I think Return's really good. I'm glad you guys do too. But Empire Strikes Back is the chosen one.
Bang.
No hot takes there, I think. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it's Empire Strikes Back. It is Star Wars to me. You know?
greatest villain of all time. The training scenes with Yoda. It's everything.
Yeah. Influential. The villain wins at the end, kind of like
Yep, a
super
little bit of
different.
Infinity War there, which is why Infinity War is the best Avengers movie.
All right. So here is our Star Wars tier ranking. The chosen one being Empire Strikes Back. A tier being the original Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, and Revenge of the Sith. The B tier is Rogue One and Force Awakens. C tier, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Last Jedi. D tier, Solo, and in the sand category at the very, very bottom, Rise of Skywalker. So that's it for our game, and we'll stop sharing screen, and then we'll be right back. All right, that was our Star Wars tier ranking. Now we will close out the show with our picks for next week. Our next theme will be directorial debuts. This was kind of inspired me at least to pick this as a put it in the pool of themes because of that episode of Severance. It was episode six, five. I think it was six.
It was 6, yeah.
Yeah, that was directorial debut, and it was probably the best episode in the whole show. So I thought, why not do a full episode on these? And there are some good ones for sure. And we will start off with Jordan. You can give us yours.
Bang.
The Jordan.
I got a good one that I've been wanting to watch. It's been on my watch list for probably 2 years. My aunt told me to watch it last summer, and I don't think I've ever talked about movies with my aunt ever. She has two young kids, so the only movies that are on in that house is like I don't even know. Like
Mario.
the second Captain Marvel was on, and it was, let me tell you, probably the worst movie I've ever seen.
Worse than Aquaman?
Ooh, close.
Wait, we need to watch Aquaman again because it's not that bad.
I
'Cause
can't
it's
go
just
through that
not.
pain. I can't
It's
go through
just
that
not
pain.
that bad.
American history X.
Let's go.
Okay.
I've been wanting to watch this movie for a long time. I love my boy Ed, so that's my pick.
That's a great movie. Interestingly enough, sorry to cut you off, Christian, but I think that's a great movie. The director like hates that movie, apparently, I'm pretty sure. Like I think they
Really?
like changed a lot of what he wanted to do and he like hates it, but like it's a I think it's a great movie. Um Christian, you're up.
Yeah. There's a couple movies that I want to watch, but I don't want it to be a sweat fest for some of the people in here.
Oh God.
Which this movie that I'm gonna pick might still end up being a sweat fest, but it's gonna be from my favorite director, Bong. It's gonna be his directorial debut. It's called Barking Dogs Never Bite,
Oh God.
and
God.
the plot is an idle part-time college lecturer is annoyed by the yapping sound of a nearby dog. He decides to take drastic action. And I think it follows some of the similar themes that he has throughout all of his movies, which is poverty. Obviously, you've seen a lot of his films, so I think it goes into that a little bit. But I've heard decent things about it, but I'm a big Bond guy. I would love to watch all of his films. So that's the one I'm gonna bring.
What was that one called?
It's called Barking Dogs Never Bite.
All right. That's an interesting one. I definitely considered that myself. I am gonna go with Hard Eight, which is Paul Thomas Anderson's directorial debut. Director of There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, The Master, so many great movies. He's coming out with another movie this year, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, which is gonna be their first collaboration. So I think a good time to go back and look at his first ever, starring John C. Reilly, Gwyneth Paltrow, Samuel L. Jackson's in it, female Philip Seymour Hoffman, and it is about a professional gambler who teaches. It says professional gambler Sydney teaches John the tricks of the trade. John does well until he falls for cocktail waitress Clementine. So it's like a gambling movie, great cast and a great director. So interested in that one.
Schnurr, did you see Licorice Pizza?
I did not see Licorice Pizza. I have to watch that.
Did not
Did
like
you?
it.
Didn't like it.
Watched it a
Yeah,
while ago, but didn't enjoy
Heard it was
it.
very good.
it's
Um,
interesting. I think that one's like kind of like people are mixed on it.
yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen.
but I like most of his other ones. So
Yeah, great director. All right. Chase is up next.
Yeah. I'm between two. I'm gonna go with one that I think is a little more relevant right now. Very basic pick. You guys probably know where I'm going with this. Ex Machina. I've never seen it. I know.
oh, neither have I.
I didn't know
I
that was
know
his debut.
it's relatively popular. Alex Garland is the director. I don't think I've seen anything of Alex Garland. I know he did Civil War as well.
See
I haven't seen
Annihilation. Is that the one?
Annihilation. No, yeah, I haven't seen that.
Is that the one that we watched at Jagger's house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I know it's a popular movie. I'm interested because of that. I think it's relevant because of the AI. And I think also I'm interested in just seeing a new director. So I think it would be cool to start with a new director with their first film.
Jordan,
I
have you
watched
seen this
that
one?
a while back and I was sweating through
Um,
it, but that was a
n-
while ago.
Really?
no, but I've seen Annihilation and
Yeah.
Civil War.
Jagger, you were sweating through Ex Machina?
Yeah, I watched a while ago. I don't know what it was setting, but like I was like sweating through that. But
I
I'm
don't like
down to
Ex
Whoa.
rewatch
Machina.
it.
Did you see
That's
Ex Machina,
am
Christian?
Yes, that movie's
Oh,
amazing.
okay,
I think
good.
I'll
Yeah,
like it.
it's like a giant Black Mirror episode, kind of.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to rewatch it. So,
I might have to do
um,
this for that.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go with one that I don't know why every time it comes on the screen I just put it off. But it's on Netflix, it's on been for a while, and six people on my Letterboxd that I follow have it a five. I'm gonna go with After Sun. Charlie
Ooh.
Oh
Wells,
yes,
Paul Mescal. I've only seen him in
I've been meaning to
Gladiator
watch
2,
this.
I didn't
so
know that was a
I'm
debut.
it says it's the
Oh, yeah.
debut. Should we double check that?
Is it Schnurr?
It is a debut. It is
Thank
absolutely a
God.
debut. I thought you were
So I'm
Thank
gonna
gonna
pick
God.
it,
run with
Jordan.
that.
It is currently my
I
number.
forgot about it, honestly.
I think it's currently my number 6 or 7 movie on my like
Yeah, you
ranked.
love it.
It's
Yeah.
like in my top 4 right now for my Letterboxd.
Is that on my list that you made?
No, it's not. But that
You've been
movie.
telling
Five
me to watch it
people
though.
on my
Yeah.
friends have it at a five, and then my other friend has it a 4.5.
I think
So
I think I
I'm
remember
very
hearing from
excited.
someone that this movie has a bit of like a weird element or weird dynamic to it. Is that true, Jacob?
No
Kinda.
spoilers.
It's not like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like maybe a little bit, like,
Okay.
but not
I
really.
think we
I
leave it
can't
at
remember
that.
who told me that though.
It's. I
I
don't
think
know.
we leave it
I
at
hope it
that.
hits you guys like the way it hits me. Like it's a crazy movie.
Hope
I've already
so.
watched it. I told you I literally watched it. I've already watched it twice, like in the past month. Like it's crazy movie. All right, we'll get to voting. So we'll go in the same order. So to go Jordan, Christian, me, Chase, and then Jagger, and we'll start off. So yeah, Jordan, you can give your top three.
I'll go After Sun, Ex Machina, and Heart 8. Is that what it's called, right? Heart 8? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm looking at. Okay.
Can you just give me 1 minute to see what Heart 8 is about? I have no idea what it's about.
So Schnur gave you a synopsis, but
Yeah,
I
he
guess you
wasn't
weren't listening.
listening to you, Schnur.
I think
He
I
wasn't
was
listening.
No worries.
Really sad.
Jordan, what was your pick?
American History X. It's on the doc.
Oh.
Someone wrote them down on the doc if you want to look at
I
it.
also don't know what that's about.
Jagger,
so-
is it you who was like,
You want me to
was
give
like,
us
this
synopsis?
has always been on my watch list, but I can't bring myself to watch it?
Yeah,
American History X.
American History X is on there. It's like number 40 on the IMDb top 100. It's Edward Norton in like
Christian,
prison
I'll-
about Nazis and shit. I
I can-
need to watch it.
That movie's
I can
insane.
read it.
Heavy watch.
Yeah, go ahead. Just so
Living a life marked by violence and racism, neo-Nazi Derek Vinyard, Edward Norton, finally goes to prison after killing two black youths who tried to steal his car. Upon his release, Derek vows to change his ways. He hopes to prevent his younger brother, Danny, who idolizes Derek, from following in his footsteps as he struggles with his own deeply ingrained prejudices and watches their mother grow sicker. Derek wonders if his family can overcome a lifetime of hate.
Wasn't
How was
Christian
it?
asking about Heart 8?
Oh, I could read that too.
I was asking about both.
Oh, okay.
I have
was
my
like-
decision.
Decisions.
Wow, there's it's gonna be some really cool themes that we're gonna watch this week. I'm gonna go with Ex Machina, After Sun, and then American History X.
All right. I am gonna go with the same. Right? Yeah. I'll go After Sun, Ex Machina, American History X. After Sun might be. I mean, it's crazy.
I'll go After Sun. I'll go American History X, and I'll go Heart 8.
No dogs?
No dogs.
The dogs are getting any
The
votes this
barking dogs are
week.
not biting.
I'm going American History X, Hard 8, and Ex Machina. There we go.
All right. So our three movies in our directorial debut episode for next week is going to be American History X, Ex Machina, and After Sun.
I'm
Do you
excited.
guys have
I'm hyped.
any last words or anything?
I'm excited for next week. These are three movies that I've been wanting to watch forever, and I haven't watched any three of them. So
Dude, next week we're gonna have these three movies. We're gonna have the Severance finale. I'll maybe there's a chance I'll be caught up on Invincible. Like this is gonna be a good slate.
Big
We'll
week.
I
see.
know. I gotta download these movies to the plane.
I
No
also
chance
wanna-
you'll be caught up on Invincible. You got
I've been
2
watching a lot.
seasons.
I've been watching a lot, man. They go quick though.
I'll give you a cookie if you get through 2 seasons by next week.
What kind of cookie? Chocolate chip?
Chocolate chip from
Chocolate
Subway.
chip.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Jagger, if I'm caught up on Invincible, you have to DoorDash me a chocolate chip cookie from somewhere.
From Subway, they're the best.
I was
If
gonna
you
say,
get
what
through all of that, what do I get if you don't?
You
chocolate
don't
chip
get
cookie from
anything.
Subway.
I get the DoorDash chocolate chip
You get
cookie.
a safe room from the tornado in your fucking house.
I already have a bunker here, apparently. There was actually a tornado warning on my phone.
Oh,
Nice.
serious?
I swear to God.
Nice.
Clear skies and clear and blue skies now, so it's okay.
I was gonna
Hi,
say
Jay
mail
Moore.
chase it. I was gonna say mail chase a bag of Tates 'cause I know he likes those ones.
Ooh.
Tates are gas.
All right, Christian, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, thank you to all the listeners, and I encourage our listeners to maybe throw in a movie that you would like us to watch and review.
Why did he say that like that? Why was he moving his shoulders back and forth?
Dude.
I would like
I-
that.
I agree. If for our listeners, if you guys have anything you want us to watch, review, any themes or ideas, please be free to give us feedback in any kind of comment section. But yeah, before we go, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, we're available on all those platforms. So be sure to tune in on whatever platform you can. We're also on TikTok and Instagram. Our TikTok handle is the Watchlist pod _, and then our Instagram is thewatchlist.pod. We post clips from every episode on there. And yeah, if you're on YouTube, you can see our letterboxd handles as well if you want to follow along with what we're watching. So yeah, with that, we'll end this episode. And thank you so much for tuning in to episode 7. And be sure to tune in next week for episode 8 on next Tuesday.
Sweet.
See ya.
See ya.
Cool.